hormones and potentially affect the way that our brain chemistry works. So it's a very sad day. We miss you, Connor. I loved watching your videos. I watched a lot of your videos. I mean, no Diddy, in a very heterosexual way, I watch his videos as inspiration. But Connor did take a bad turn, probably at the peak of his career, and he did, recover a little bit. But sadly, this is just a horrible, tragic way to go for a guy that was incredibly popular at one point on the internet. So with that, I just want to say rest in peace to Connor Murphy. And I also want to say rest in peace to Charlie Kirk. I see all these people fighting and arguing, and it seems like we're not giving Charlie the respect he deserves. And I do understand the argument that the people that are the conspiracy side saying, I'm actually doing justice for Charlie because I'm the only one that's fighting for him, and I'm not just going to believe the government narrative because, like I said earlier, oftentimes the official story is not always correct. But in this case, I'm hoping that we can actually see some evidence that will show concrete proof that Tyler Robinson was a killer, because that's what they want. They want us fighting. They want us arguing. They want us fighting over JFK. They want us fighting over 9/11. They want us fighting over the Charlie Kirk assassination. Because a population that is fighting each other will never actually hold the people in power accountable. So this is part of a bigger plan to divide America and maybe not cause a civil war, even though I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to do that. But all I'm hoping is this, is that Tyler Robinson is found guilty. Because if Tyler Robinson somehow is found not guilty, I do believe that there will be riots in the streets and that there will be chaos and turmoil that we have never seen since the BLM movement. And that's something that America does not need right now. We're already skating on thin ice with the Iran war, with the Freedom 250. It's the 250th birthday of America. We need to celebrate the good things in life and not try to divide us and try to make us hate each other. So I'm just hoping and praying that there is enough evidence to convict Tyler Robinson and everybody will be satisfied. Is that possible? Probably not possible, but if we can get the majority of the people behind the decision that the jury eventually makes in this court case, then I think that will bring closure to not only the people that cared and loved Charlie, but to Erica Kirk and to Charlie's family. Because seeing Erica and seeing his parents walk into that courtroom every day, it makes me absolutely sick. Because I can just tell the pain that they're going through. You know, I lost my mom at a young age, and I'm not trying to make it about me, but after you lose somebody, that's the hardest moment you'll ever go through. And then having to go through a long court case and relive it all constantly over and over again is something I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. All right, guys. Well, I want to give a big shout out to Steve Toth. Thank you for coming on. And we will be back tomorrow night with more breaking news and more coverage of the Charlie Kirk hearing. Love you guys. See you tomorrow.
When a relationship is new, everything flows. You got the girl, you hung the moon, you're ready when the wind blows. But life keeps going. Bills, carpools, shared calendars that need their own calendar. Suddenly romance has a meeting reminder. We can't pause time, but we can crack a window. Blue Chew Gold combines 4 powerful ingredients for connection and intimacy. The spark didn't die, it just needed a little air. Try Blue Chew Gold.
Pam lost weight. Must be on the fat shock drugs.
Ugh, she looks amazing.
Girls, of course it's weight loss shots. She's never been able to lose weight before.
But wait, she has energy, and she doesn't have that saggy weight loss face.
It's not the shots or a crash diet. It's Almacet, the natural superfood protein shake that lets you lose weight in a healthy way. Forget shots. Did you know that research shows that most people drop off popular weight loss diets in a year and gain the weight back?
Hello, this is Wayne Allen Root, and you're on the air.
Get ready, America. The conversation starts now. This is America Speaks.
Hey, Wayne, what do you think about Obama?
He was a communist, socialist, Marxist radical.
I agree.
He's unfiltered, and he's taking your calls live.
Wayne, how do you see the current state of MAGA?
We are winning. We're taking back the agenda. We're not punching bags anymore. We're actually punching back.
Sir Wayne Allen Root.
I'm the loudest MAGA mouth in the USA, coming from Vegas, the entertainment capital of the world.
Pick up the phone, join the conversation, and let your voice be heard.
This is America Speaks, and it starts right now on Real America's Voice. All right, Wayne Allen Root back. I got so many letters while I was gone on vacation. I must have had 25 of you sending me emails saying, did they cancel your show? Where'd your show go? Why is your show not on Rev? Even I have to take a vacation sometimes. I was in beautiful Park City, Utah for the best small town July 4th parade in America. It was fantastic. Military jet flyover from Hill Air Force Base, and great fireworks, and great rodeo. And Sunday, I always have a Sunday brunch at Sundance Film Festival. Everyone knows the name, Sundance Film Festival. But really, it came from the resort Sundance, founded by Robert Redford like 40 years ago. He died recently, but an incredible resort taken over by a big corporation. They've made it so much better. It's the most beautiful resort. And it is, I've had thousands of meals in my life. The best brunch I've ever had in my life is my Sunday brunch at Sundance. And I look forward to it several times a summer and several times a year. I just love it. I love Park City, Utah, my second home. I love it there. And my wife, Cindy, and I had a great time. We were at the rodeo, by the way, on Monday night. It was the bull riding extreme night. They call it, I think, Bulls Extreme or Extreme Bulls. I think Extreme Bulls. And it's like the 5th, 6th straight year we've gone to the rodeo on Monday night of July 4th weekend, which is the Extreme Bulls night. And it's the most patriotic thing I've ever seen. The entire night is fireworks, American flags, prayers to God, specifically to Jesus Christ, and honoring military veterans and police officers. It's the most incredible, what's the word I'm looking for? The most incredible example of patriotism in America today is the rodeo, and I just enjoy it every single time. I love it. All right, so I'm Wayne Allen Root. This is America Speaks. Obviously, we are back now. I don't think I'm taking a vacation from now until Labor Day, so I'm here the entire summer. We're not going to miss any shows. It's our call-in show. The phone number, 800-347-ROOT, 800-347-ROOT. If you're watching it at midnight Eastern, 9 p.m. Pacific, on Real America's Voice TV, it's not live. It is filmed every day live at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific on YouTube. And I hope we're adding Rumble any day now. But at the moment, it's YouTube. And you can go to Rav's YouTube channel and watch it live every day at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. And call in live and talk to Wayne Root right now at 800-347-ROOT. And if you're watching the replay at night on Rav at midnight Eastern, 9 p.m. Pacific, you can still call in that phone number and leave a voicemail, which I will read on the air the next day. 800-347-ROOT. We don't get to every voicemail, but we get to a lot of them. Or you can email me, wayneroot@gmail.com, wayneroot@gmail.com. All right, I did a commentary while I was away. I wrote it yesterday morning, and it's a pretty important one. It's titled, Is Every Democrat Candidate Either a Radical Communist, Radical Muslim, a Nazi, a drug addict, a rapist, or a woman abuser? It sure looks like it. Have you seen the news? It's remarkable, shocking, and tragic for America. The news this week is the whole Democrat Party is dirtbags. When you see leftist rallies, they all look like criminals and violent radical nutjob bomb throwers and lazy welfare queens and Jew-hating terrorists. And most of them look like what they need most in life is a bath. Like it's been 6 months since they had a bath or a shower. They are the weirdo riffraff of America at liberal rallies, leftist rallies. Mentally ill, mentally disturbed, and mostly vile, violent haters. They hate men, they hate white people, they hate Jews, they hate straight people, they hate rich people, they hate capitalism, they hate religion, they hate God, and most of all, they hate America. Or maybe I should say most of all, they hate white, straight males. Well, now it appears Democrat candidates are perfect representatives of these Democrat voters and riffraff protesters. Just this week, we found out Maine Democrats cannot find a U.S. Senate candidate who isn't accused of beating, abusing, or raping women. I'm not exaggerating. First, prominent Democrats across America all got behind this guy, Graham Plattner. None of them seemed bothered by by the giant Nazi tattoo right on his chest. A giant Nazi tattoo. This strange, vile scumbag is more deserving of a Nuremberg trial than a seat in the U.S. Senate. But no one in the Democrat Party had a problem with his Nazi love, or numerous women claiming he had affairs because he's married, or inappropriate behavior. He was still their man in the U.S. Senate. Crickets. No one dropped out. They all kept supporting him. It was only when a liberal woman came forward in the past 48 hours, charging him with rape, that Democrats began to run like rats from a sinking ship. But get this, the guy that the main Democrats thought would quickly replace Plattner is a man named Troy Jackson, the former president of the Maine Senate. But it turns out Troy doesn't like women much either. It appears he once threw a bottle at a female political colleague's strike-er. I mean, I've never thrown a bottle at a woman in my life. It's weird. Democrats say there were many witnesses to him assaulting this woman with a bottle and call his story an open secret in Maine Democrat circles. But the really amazing thing is it appears all the Democrat candidates in Maine have similar problems. They're going to have to run women because men are all rapists and abusers in the Democrat Party. No surprise when I look at the protests. Read what an ultra-liberal group said about the situation. They said, and I quote, "In our discussions, we've received troubling information not only about Troy Jackson's behavior, but the behavior of many prominent Maine Democrats towards women more broadly," meaning every potential candidate has a woman problem. But this isn't just a Maine Democrat problem. We also found out this week that former Florida big city mayor and Democrat governor candidate Andrew Gillum, remember him from 2018 against Ron DeSantis? He was favored to beat Ron DeSantis, and he was just arrested this week on drug charges. This man was literally the golden boy of the National Democrat Party, endorsed and celebrated by none other than Barack Hussein Obama. Gilliam was pulled over by police this week and arrested in Alabama for driving erratically. Police then searched his car and found meth, drug pipes, marijuana, and a bong. He's now charged with felonies, multiple felonies. Remember, this is the guy who barely lost his Florida gubernatorial race to Ron DeSantis in 2018. He was then arrested in a Florida hotel room 2 years later in 2020 with two other men, drunk, allegedly having gay sex with multiple men with crystal meth in the room. Then he checked into rehab and at a press conference came out as bisexual while sitting next to his wife, the mother of his 3 children. Excuse me while I vomit. Then in 2023, he was accused of lying to the FBI about the use of campaign funds. Lovely guy. But none of this bothered Democrats or the liberal mainstream media. He now hosts a liberal podcast for iHeartMedia. Thank you, iHeart. Great judge of talent. This is today's state of the Democrat Party. I haven't even mentioned communist radical Muslim New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani or communist radical Muslim Congresswomen Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib, or Michigan U.S. Senate candidate Dr. Abdul El Sayed, who's a wild-eyed communist radical Muslim and Jew hater, or New York Democrat Socialist congressional candidate Daraliza Avia Shavea, who hates Jews, hates whites, wants to defund police, abolish ICE, and close all the prisons in America. I haven't even mentioned all the Democrats in Arizona who clearly steal elections and appear to be on the payroll of the Mexican drug cartel. They would do anything to keep the border open. This is today's Democrat Party. Even transgenders seem normal next to this crowd. Democrats can't find a decent candidate who isn't a communist, radical Muslim, Nazi, drug addict, rapist, or woman abuser. I'll end this commentary with a few deep questions and some serious food for thought. Just think what would have happened to Florida if gay, communist, corrupt, meth addict Andrew Gillum had been elected in 2018 instead of Ron DeSantis. What would Florida have been like during COVID with Gillum in charge? What would Florida's economy look like today? Where would the almost 2 million Americans who escaped blue states for Florida since the COVID pandemic, where would they have gone if Florida looked more like California or New York than, say, Texas? What would Florida look like today if for the last 8 years Gillum had been the governor, shacked up in a hotel room with 2 men and some meth? Now think about what America and the U.S. economy would look like today if Kamala Harris had beaten President Trump in 2024. And think what the U.S. Senate will look like if Maine throws Republican Susan Collins out. And I don't even like her, but if they throw Susan Collins out, at least she's a normal woman. She's a rhino, but she's normal, in favor of a Nazi or a rapist or a woman abuser. Now do you see the difference for a country, a state, or a city if just one close political race goes one way versus the other? One close election is the difference between common sense, capitalism, freedom and prosperity versus radical communism, radical Islam, censorship, pure insanity, and becoming a third world crap hole. Come November's midterms, vote Republican like your life depends on it, because it does. It really does. All right, this segment is sponsored by Lost Soldier Oil and Gas. The golden age of Trump prosperity, all about making America the energy capital of the world. Enter Lost Soldier Oil and Gas. Headed by oil and gas legend Mark Bruner, whose companies have created more than $15 billion in shareholder value at its peak. His company, Penteco Energy, grew about 100 to 1 for investors. So you put in $1, you got back 100. You put in 1,000, you got back 100,000. And Ultra Petroleum soared 1,000 to 1. A $10,000 investment turned into $13 million over 10 years. Would you be willing to wait 10 years to turn 10,000 into 13 million? But Lost Soldier could be much bigger than Ultra Petroleum, with what could be, Mark Bruner, the CEO, says, the largest gas discovery in the United States in 100 years. It's a 40,000-acre territory in Wyoming that took 40 years to piece together. Mark's a patient man. The first 4,000 feet drilled so far, estimated to contain up to 6 trillion cubic feet of gas. Management forecasting projects the first 25 wells to produce 400 million cubic feet per day of natural gas, and by 2035, targeted production of over 1 billion cubic feet per day. This is all about the surge in AI data centers, which a lot of you don't like. Well, this is the good news. This is how we power the AI future of America with inexpensive, clean natural gas, so your electric bills don't go up. To learn more about Lost Soldier Oil and Gas, go to lostsoldier.com. Fill out the contact form. They'll get right back to you, lostsoldier.com. That's lostsoldier.com. And I've invested multiple times in this project because I really do believe in it personally. All right, we're going to a quick break. When we get back, we'll take calls. 1-800-347-ROOT. 1-800-347-ROOT for those of you watching live on YouTube right now. And we will play some voicemails and read some emails. WayneRoot@gmail.com. Leave a voicemail 24 hours a day for free at 800-347-ROOT. Costs you nothing for the call. Costs you nothing to leave a voicemail. Let us know what you're thinking. This is America Speaks with Wayne Allyn Root. All right, Wayne Allyn Root. Joining me is Silvano De Genova, owner of Tangible Investments. Sil, I've known you forever. And I've been buying gold forever and silver forever and rare coins forever. It's great to have you with us. With the Iran deal done, how do you see the economy and inflation moving in the near future?
Well, nothing's really changed. We're in an inflationary environment. The government deficits are through the roof. The reality is that oil prices may come down, but inflation is going to be with us long term.
How does inflation impact the demand for gold and silver?
Well, the more inflation there is, the more demand there's going to be for gold. People want to get away from their paper assets. They want to hold something that is going to hold its value or appreciate in an inflationary times. And gold and hard assets are the only real thing that are an insurance policy against this type of inflation. And the reality is we may still have rampant inflation. And we saw that under a different administration. And this one's doing okay to try and buckle it down. But long term, government spending is not going to stop. The world government spending is not going to stop. And that's going to be good for gold and hard assets into perpetuity at this point.
And world debt is not going to stop, and America's debt is not going to stop. It just keeps getting higher and higher. How should buyers of gold and silver know which gold products to buy and what to avoid?
Well, they certainly don't want to buy products that trade or are being offered at big premiums. If you're going to buy gold as your hedge, you want it as close to the spot price of gold as possible. Right now, we have an anomaly. You can actually buy some fairly rare coins at no premium or very little premium to just bullion coins, like $20 gold pieces that are 100 years old. We're selling them at $50 over the melt price. Okay. Or you can buy bullion coins from us at a very small premium over the spot price. There's a lot of gimmicks out there, and a lot of companies selling certified gold coins at big premiums and saying they're a gold investment. Well, they're not. I mean, you're going to have to overcome their markup.
If you want gold, silver, precious metals, or rare coins from a real firm with real credibility and honest pricing, call Sil. Tangible Investments is Silvana's company, 888-330-4351, or go to the website they created just for my fans, rootforgold.com. Tell them War sent you. All right, Wayne Allyn Roots, America Speaks. I'm back after a 1-week vacation. By the end of the segment, we'll have some photos ready for you, just to share a little bit with you from my time in beautiful Park City, Utah. Great place, one of the most beautiful places in America. Kind of an amazing snow skiing playground, but I like it better in the summer. Summers are just heaven. Here in Vegas, 105 today. Tomorrow it'll be 107. In Park City, Utah, I wake up every morning, it's 50 degrees, and at night it's 60 degrees. In between, it's 75 degrees. It is heaven in the summer. It is green. It is beautiful. Wonderful place. Love the mountains. Love the mountain air. We'll have a couple of photos by the end of the segment. Let me mention just a few news stories that are in the news today, important ones. I think the most important story of the day is not Trump bombing Iran. I'll get to that in a second. It's former Wisconsin judge Hannah Duggan. You remember that she helped an illegal escape from ICE. She told ICE to wait out front of her courtroom, like in the waiting area outside, and then she helped the guy sneak out, the illegal alien, out the back door to run away from ICE. You know what you call that? Treason. She is sentenced to no prison time after she was found guilty of obstructing ICE agents. She avoids jail time, and she gets a lousy $5,000 fine, and the judge felt bad for her. The judge basically said, let me paraphrase for you, oh, the poor baby, she meant well. She didn't mean anything bad by it. She just doesn't like federal immigration policy. She thinks it's unfair. Folks, I don't really like the IRS, and I don't want to give them a freaking dime. Would I go to jail in a second if I didn't pay my taxes? In a second. Can anyone decide on any morning that they don't believe in the federal law of some kind and just go, no big deal, and the judge will just give you, no time at all? No, you and I would be in jail for 5 to 10 Israel side, believe it or not. They're not Jew haters. They're nice people, and they're being destroyed by the Iranian government. We have to kill the leaders of the Iranian government and the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, the IRG. Illegal alien monster repeatedly raped a 10-year-old child in Minnesota, and the governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz, issued a pardon to shield him from deportation. You know, this is like the story with the judge who helped the illegal out the back door. And I said this to all of you. I said this is impossible to believe that anyone would protect animals, subhuman savages, like Democrats protect illegal alien rapists and murderers and gangbangers and MS-13. And this is prime example number one. I'm going to say it again so it sinks in. Illegal alien monster repeatedly raped 10-year-old child in Minnesota, and Governor Tim Walz issued a pardon to shield him from deportation. Why would you pardon someone who's a disgusting, horrible child rapist? Why would you do that? A 10-year-old child. And why would you shield him from deportation? What's in it for you unless you're on the payroll of the Mexican drug cartel, which I've argued for a long time? Middle-class mom led anti-Israel extremist group donated to Palestinian terrorists and said, I quote on social media, I quote, "I wish every day were October 7th. She's a white woman. She looks like a completely normal American white person. And yet she said, I wish every day were October 7th. And if you don't understand that one, October 7th is when Hamas attacked Israel, sent 1,000 terrorists in to cut people's heads off, gang rape women, set families on fire, and don't forget, cut heads off babies and stick a baby in a microwave. The most horrible thing that's happened since Nazi Germany and the Holocaust and gassing Jews. She wants every day to be like that. And she donated to Palestinian terrorists and led an anti-Israel extremist group. This is the Democrat Party. They look normal, and there's something mentally wrong with them. And as Democrats freak out over this socialist communist takeover and socialists being too nice, Kamala Harris speaks with Zohran Mamdani. Of course she does. It's a takeover of the whole party. She can't win in 2028, and none of them could win unless they make friends with communist, radical Muslim terrorists like Zohran Mamdani. And yes, I said that correctly. It's an opinion show. My opinion is he is a terrorist. He supports terrorists. He's a terrorist. And finally, and then I'll get some calls, election integrity win as a judge tells the Department of Homeland Security to reopen the citizenship database to 4 GOP states. It's a federal judge in Florida. It's a Trump judge. And I read you these stories every day. Every time we win, it's a Trump judge. Every time we lose, it's an Obama or a Biden judge. I mean, it's easy to tell whether you're going to win or lose a case. Trump judges win. Obama judges, we lose every time. And they say that he could, the Department of Homeland Security has permission to restore access to the systemic alien verification for entitlement systems, federal citizenship data for Florida and 3 other Republican-led states, screening their voter rolls, contradicting a previous ruling by a Washington judge that suspended that access nationwide. Trump judge is the hero rides to the rescue, the cavalry, and an Obama judge tried to destroy our ability to tell who's voting legally or illegally because they're not American citizens. All right, let's grab a caller. We've got Obi from Virginia. Obi, you're on with Wayne Allyn Root. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. And I'm glad that you're back. You're back from vacation. It's nice to hear your voice.
Thank you. What's on your mind?
Okay, and my questions are my questions are what are trans rights? Because I keep on hearing trans rights. I don't know what that means. How come trans have special rights? Do they have special rights over our own rights? Like, what are trans rights? And also, my second question is, so June was a gay month, right? So how come straight people like myself, how come we don't have a month of our own? That doesn't seem fair to me, but yeah, those are my 2 questions.
Wait, so hold on, Obi. I heard the first one clearly. I'll get to that in a second. The second one, you started to go in and out on me. What rights are you talking about on the second one that we don't have, that I guess you're saying gays or lesbians or trans do have? What was the second part?
So June was was gay month for gay people and all that stuff.
Pride Month.
Yeah, it was Pride Month. June was Pride Month. And my second question is, how come we don't have a straight month?
Got it. Agree. All right, look, so my answer is simple. First of all, nobody should get a month, right? There shouldn't be a Jewish month, a Christian month, a gay month, a straight month. It's all ridiculous. Just like there shouldn't be a black national anthem. I've never heard anything so stupid and offensive in my entire life. Before a football game, there's a national anthem. We are America. Whether you're black, white, Jewish, Christian, or Muslim, we're all Americans. There should only be an American national anthem, and no one has any right to play anything else. And there should not be a black month or a gay month. The most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. As far as the first half of Obi's question, trans rights. You know, the only rights, look, I'll be very fair. I'm not a fan of trans people, but I've never hurt one in my life. I've never fired them from a job. I've never actually had one on a job. I've hired thousands of people. I've never met a trans person. But if I did and they were a good salesman, I would have kept them if they make me money. The end result is I have no prejudice against trans people, right? I've never done anything to hurt a trans person. So the only rights they should have is the same rights you and I have. Human rights, civil rights. But they should never have more rights than you and me. And the thing that bothers me isn't trans people. Be as trans as you want in your own bedroom. Don't stick it in my face. But most importantly, don't teach it to my children at school. You have no right to teach my boys to be girls or girls to be boys or someone to change their sex underage. They're a minor. They're 12 years old. They're 8 years old. They're 6 years old. And a boy thinks they're a girl and a girl thinks they should be a boy. That is all sickness and mental illness. And it is abuse of children. So that's where I'm against the trans. But they should have civil rights and human rights. No one's allowed to murder them. All right, we'll be right back. I'm Wayne Allyn Root. This is America Speaks.
How are you going to celebrate America's 250th birthday? Well, we at Real America's Voice have a suggestion. The new Angel Studios summer blockbuster, Young Washington. This is one that you want to see in the theaters. Take a quick look.
What happened, Washington? All those bullet holes in your jacket. How are you alive? I don't know.
This is the must-see film, and it's very affordable. Right now, you can get an Angel Premium Guild membership for just $15 a month, with that price set for the entire year. And not only will you get 2 free tickets to see Young Washington in theaters, you will also get 2 free tickets to every single theatrical release by Angel. Plus, you get access to the entire Angel streaming library. So scan the QR code on your screen right now or go to angel.com/Rav to get that limited time price today.
Water, nature's ultimate cleaner. We drink it, we bathe in it. Think water, think steam, think clean. Now harness the power of water with the H2O X5 5-in-1 steam cleaning system.
I'm so impressed with the X5. It's an all-in-one product, so I can use it throughout my entire house.
It's cleaning, it's sanitizing, there's no chemicals in it. It's just steam.
This is unbelievable. There is no more odor.
5 minutes, I'm done. Look at that, it's amazing.
If you're ready to step into an effective, economical, and eco-safe world of cleaning, look no further than the H2O X5. Using just the power of superheated water, the X5 Super Hot Steam cleans and kills up to 99% of germs, viruses, and bacteria. You could spend over $500 to purchase the products that the X5 5-in-1 Miracle replaces. But through this special TV offer, you won't spend $400, $300, or even $200. Order your H2O X5 steam cleaning system, a $500 value, for just 4 easy payments of $43. You'll get the X5 steam mop with microfiber pad, the carpet glider, the handheld scrubber, the window glass and mirror attachment, and the garment and upholstery bonnet. It's a complete 10-piece system, all this for just 4 easy payments of $43. But it gets even better. Order now and we'll upgrade your X5 package. We'll add a 6th mode with a dusting and polishing wand. Valued at over $30, this extra bonus attachment makes your H2O X5 the H2O X6. That means your 10-piece system becomes a 12-piece system at no extra cost to you. If after 30 days you're not absolutely delighted, send it back for a full refund of the purchase price. Don't wait. Now's your chance to own the X5 for just 4 easy payments, and we'll make the first payment for you. You get the X5 incredible 5-in-1 lightweight, powerful 12-piece steam cleaning system, a $500 value, all for just 3 easy payments of $43. This offer can't last forever, so call or click right now.
All right, Wayne Allyn Root back from a holiday, a rare holiday. I don't take too many, but when I take them, guess when you know I'm on vacation? During a holiday. I take my holidays during holidays because we all know traffic on TV and radio and podcasts slows dramatically. People are going to the beach. People are going skiing. People are going to Christmas parties. People are going to July 4th barbecues. Holidays are when I get away. So usually, Memorial Day, Labor Day, July 4th, Thanksgiving, and Christmas, New Year's are kind of the only times each year I ever get away. So if you don't see me during those times, you know where I am. My new book is out. We'll get to those in a sec. My new book's out, How Illegal Immigrants Have Made America Great. And it's 100 blank pages. It's a gag gift. It's a funny book. You will enjoy it. You'll open it up and go, show all your friends. Illegal aliens have done all these great things for America, and show them 100 blank pages. They're all numbered, by the way. Every page 90 is blank, page 80 is blank, page 100 is blank. Illegal immigrants have done nothing for America except cost us money and commit murder. And this book kind of sends the point home in a very simple way. Give it to all your conservative friends, and they will laugh. Give it to all your liberal friends. Their heads will explode. How Illegal Immigrants Have Made America Great by Wayne Allyn Root. Only place to get it, Amazon.com. I sell all my books at Amazon. They sell 90% of all books in America. Just type in Wayne Allyn Root at Amazon, and this book comes up as the first thing you'll see. All right, a couple of photos from my trip to Park City. All of you are like family to me, and I like to share some of my photos. That's my wife and I at the rodeo in Oakley, Utah, which is about a half hour outside Park City. I can't even explain to you the good time I have at the rodeo. It was probably the funnest thing I've done in a year, and I do a lot of great things. My wife makes me enjoy myself and go to sporting events and go to rock concerts and go to country concerts, and we do a lot of things now. And I got to tell you, I had the greatest time on Monday night I've had in a long time. One of my favorite things ever. I love the rodeo. So that's us, my wife Cindy and I at the rodeo. I think we got a picture next of us at the that's at Sundance, Robert Redford Sundance Resort, which is about an hour outside Park City, and which inspired the Sundance Film Festival. And he's got a beautiful resort with running, rapid streams and beautiful lakes and beautiful, beautiful cabins and an incredible brunch we had there. That was us at Sundance. And the last picture is us at the July 4th parade. They call it the best small town parade in America. And there's my wife with her pants. What do they say on the pants? Make America Great Again. On both sides, both legs say Make America Great Again. We walk right into that crowd and everybody sees it. Sometimes I wear a MAGA cap. This year I didn't wear a hat, but my wife wore the Make America Great leggings. And everybody commented, some people gave us dirty looks and some people high-fived us and said, yeah, MAGA, yeah, Trump. But we had a great time. What a great parade, including a flyover by the United States military. Okay, before I read the sponsor of this segment, I want to mention that President Trump's staff just texted me in the middle of the show. The president wanted to make sure you saw the Iran videos on his Truth Social page. And then, so the president asked his assistant to send this to me, and it says, this is in retribution for yesterday's bombing of ships by Iran. If it happens again, it will get much worse. And it's a photo of like a military base or a major installation burning. Just the bombing has just hit it, and it's on fire, and it's all destroyed, and it's burning, and the fire and the smoke is in the air. And that was just sent to me by President Trump to make sure that everybody knows. And I don't think he knew it was in the middle of my show. I sent it back and I said, you don't realize you're in the middle of my show, so I'm going to do it right now. So good timing. But he wants everyone to know that if you mess with the USA, what is that? F-A-F-O. Fool around and find out, except he doesn't use the word fool. Fool around and find out. F-A-F-O. You mess with the United States, you're going to die or you're going to get bombed, and a lot of people are going to lose their business and their jobs. Don't mess with the USA. F-A-F-O. Thank you, President Trump, for contacting Wayne Root via text moments ago. All right, this segment of the show sponsored by VRA, Vertical Research Advisory. Here is an alert for middle-class Americans. Investing in stocks isn't just for rich people anymore. Kip Herridge left the highest levels of success on Wall Street to help mom-and-pop investors 23 years ago with his amazing investment newsletter, VRA. His goal was to help the little guy, average middle-class American guys and gals, hit returns like the rich guys do with hedge funds, except even better, even higher returns. And it worked! Since then, his top-performing recommendations have beaten the market just under 90% of the time, 19 out of 22 years. Meanwhile, Barron's reports the average Wall Street money manager loses to the market 90% of the time. So it's pretty simple. You choose. Kip wins almost 90%. The big shots on Wall Street lose 90%. Which one do you choose? I know which one I've been choosing for 23 years. But Kip doesn't just beat the market. He often beats it by a mile. He beats it like a rug. His daily newsletter portfolio was up 35.7% last year, over 20% in 2024, and over 50% in 2023. How do you like those numbers? I'm a witness. Kip's been a close friend all these years, and I've read every email newsletter every morning for 23 years. Facts matter. When the market's up, Kip's up. When the market's down, Kip's up. When the economy's up, Kip's up. When the economy's down, Kip's up. Kip is the Nostradamus of Wall Street and my personal financial advisor. I don't make a move without him. Let Kip prove it to you for free, exclusively for my fans. Kip's offering his daily VRA letter completely free for 2 weeks. Join now at VRAinsider.com. What do you have to lose? What's your risk? You have no risk. 2 weeks free. It's 100% free for 2 weeks. And then once you join, very inexpensive. And trust me, the results are one of a kind. Now you can win like the wealthy investors on Wall Street for a fraction of the cost. Get your free 2-week membership at VRAinsider.com. All right, let's take voicemails. Bill from Washington, D.C. is on the line. Bill, what do you got to say?
Hi, Wayne. I love your idea of Trump declaring a national security emergency to address the current voting issues. I think you're right that that's the only way to go. I have another suggestion. I think he should also declare a national emergency regarding the national debt. If being $39 trillion in debt is not a national emergency, I don't know what is.
I agree. That's a great idea, Bill. You know, I wish I could get every one of these ideas and send them all to President Trump, but I got to pick and choose. You know, I try and be honest with people. It's not like I text Trump every day, every hour. It's not like I send emails to him every day, every hour. I pick my spots. I send 1 or 2 a week so that he doesn't get overwhelmed. Like right now at this moment, there's 10 things I'd like to send him. I'm only going to send him 1. And the one I send him, he may never look at because he's in Turkey at a NATO meeting as we speak. And if you saw some of the videos online, the entire Turkey army is out to greet him. I mean, he's not reading Wayne Root's emails 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. How many other thousands of people are sending it to him at the same time who he knows and knows well? He knows me well. He just sent me a text, right? He asked his staff to text Wayne Root, and that just occurred moments ago. But that doesn't mean he's reading mine. So I never know whether he gets him or doesn't get him, and I can't send him everything. But that is a great idea. Bill from Washington, D.C., National Emergency for Elections. That was my idea, and I think he's going to adopt it, and you're going to hear about it in the next, say, 4 to 6 weeks. A little birdie told me, as we get close to the election, he's going to do Wayne Root's idea, National Security Emergency for Elections. And Bill suggests a national security emergency for the debt. And I've had other fans of mine send me notes that the deal with the debt is we should have a nationwide lottery just to pay down the debt. And so, you know, every time there's $1 billion up for grabs, you get $500 million, and the other $500 million goes to pay down the national debt. Everybody would play that lottery. Why aren't we doing something like that? It's a great idea. So there's a couple of good ideas. Let's live caller Patricia from Florida about the Charlie Kirk trial. Patricia, you are on with Wayne Allyn Root. How are you?
Good. I'm doing well. How are you?
Good, good, good. Now, I've been on vacation for a week, and even when I'm not on vacation, I don't have time to see and hear everything. What's going on with the Charlie Kirk trial that you think we should all know about?
I believe the defense attorney, actually not the defense attorney, a state attorney, the one that is for the state for Charlie Kirk, and he's doing really well. The judge is very fair. The defense attorney, they're doing everything they can to discredit all the evidence that they have or the facts that they're bringing in. And, you know, that's normal in the courtroom, but the information that they're providing as far as DNA and whatever, is just being kind of boo-hooed. So, you know, the person that's on the stand will look either incompetent or stupid, or they try to tire them out. So they have them say the same statement over and over again. So at that point, they'll catch them. Either they make it into a lie, which it's not. It's hard to remember everything. And when you're have to repeat yourself a second time. You know, they're doing it on purpose. It's a game that they play. I've been in jury duty 12 times in 12 years.
Wow.
I've also been in jury duty. Yeah, I've been in grand jury also once. And it's a circus, but I find that this judge is very fair. He's very direct. He's very articulate. He reminds everybody of the rules, and he's very patient. So I think the people who are for Charlie Kirk are doing a great job. And I just give credit to the lawyers, considering they know a lot. The defense attorney, she, not so much the guy, but the woman, she seems like she's ill-prepared or just doesn't have her act together. So it's kind of in the favor of Charlie Kirk right now. And hopefully, you know, the way things go, we never know what can happen.
All right, Patricia, I appreciate the review, because I am not watching the trial because I'm working all day when I get back from my holiday. But got in early this morning, and I've been working all day. But everything you say sounds like we're headed in the right direction, which is a guilty verdict. And I'm sick of hearing Candace Owens with her lies and her slander of Jews in the state of Israel. This guy murdered Charlie Kirk. He's gay and a transgender boyfriend. He was part of the gay mafia group. What did they call themselves? I don't know. Gay Communists of Salt Lake City, something like that. And they went to Cuba and practiced shooting. It's pretty clear this was an attack by gays and transgender activists who hated Charlie Kirk, who was wonderful, who went to colleges and preached conservatism and was winning, and they had to get rid of him. Has nothing to do with Jews or Israel. What a bunch of bunk. Candace Owens, a liar. We'll be right back.
We know that over 5 million men trust Blue Chew, but makes you wonder how many wingmen stayed behind, how many bar tabs walked, or rides rerouted, or how many U-ups, buzz-me-ins, and group chats silenced, how many pitchers emptied, waffles ironed, and hoodies stolen, how many dogs exiled, brooms banged, and calves cramped. Wait, how many fitted sheets unfitted? We'll never get the exact numbers, but we do know what counts. Blue Chew.
The gun grabbers are licking their chops. If they seize Congress in November, they've already promised an all-out assault weapons ban.
We will have legislation.
So we're giving away the rifle they'd like to ban the most. Your National Association for Gun Rights, America's no-compromise gun lobby, is giving away a Barrett M82A1 50 caliber rifle. Enter to win and chip in to help us fight back. Visit gunrights.org/RAV.
When you look at your grocery bill, is it so high it knocks you off your feet? It's time to stand up and save with InstaSeal by Bell & Howell, the world's first vertical vacuum sealing system designed to save you money. Unlike ordinary storage bags that trap air in, spoiling your food, InstaSeal removes the air completely, extending freshness up to 6 times longer. Now that's saving. Look, flat sealers create a big mess, but InstaSeal is upright, mess-free, and easy. The secret is Smart Seal technology. With just one touch, it auto-feeds the bag to seal, pauses to vacuum out the air, then continues to perfectly seal. Plus, InstaSeal has a motor powerful enough to crush cans, but smart enough to save crackers from turning to dust. Forget big, bulky sealers you have to put away. InstaSeal's compact design stays to help you seal and save every day. Got a great deal on chicken, meat, or fish? InstaSeal protects it from freezer burn. Now buy groceries in bulk. Make meals ahead of time. InstaSeal and save. It even works with all universal storage system bags. Buy on sale meats. InstaSeal and save. When you add it all up, InstaSeal will help you seal and save hundreds on your family's grocery bill. Call or go online now and get the complete InstaSeal system that keeps food fresh 6 times longer, with enough storage bags to fill your entire fridge for the special TV discount price of just $99.99. It comes with a 90-day money-back guarantee. Plus, we'll ship your entire order free. You get it all, an incredible value for one low price. Order now.
To order, call 1-800-308-6802 or go to buyinstaseal.com. So call 1-800-308-6802 or order online at buyinstaseal.com.
right, Wayne Allyn Root, the Root's on fire. Headed to vacation tomorrow morning. So this is the last segment before I get a week off. And when I get back, I'll show you pictures of where I went and what I did with my family, and we'll have a lot of fun. Supreme Court, I got a comment here, a tip from Lou about the Supreme Court. He says, look into the Solicitor General. That's the guy who represents President Trump and the Trump administration and the United States of America in arguing about birthright citizenship in front of the Supreme Court. He says, look into the Solicitor General. He's never had a real job in his life, has only worked political law gigs in Missouri. His opposition was a hard-charging Taiwanese anchor baby trained by the ACLU, and she mopped the floor with the guy. Here's the story. The court only hears arguments. His argument was faulty, and he should be fired tomorrow, says Lou V. Interesting, and that's not the first time I've heard that the argument in front of the Supreme Court about birthright citizenship was a lousy argument. They should have had me. Trump should hire me. You know, I'm doing the mock trial when I get back next Friday. Not this Friday, but next Friday, the 10th of July, at Freedom Fest. When I get back from my vacation, that every year they have a mock trial. 3,000 people attend Freedom Fest, and this trial is in front of everyone. And then they vote at the end who the winner is. And it's a trial of ICE. ICE is on trial. Are they good or bad for America? Wayne Root is the defense attorney for ICE. Now, keep in mind, in real life, I'm not a lawyer. The attorney prosecuting ICE is a real-life lawyer and prosecutor. And the judge is a real-life judge. The jury is 12 people chosen from the audience. So I'm not even a lawyer. And I'm arguing, I'm the defense lawyer for ICE, and I'm not even a lawyer, up against a lawyer. But I'll beat her. You know how I know I'll beat her? I think it's a she. You know I know I'll beat her? This will be the 8th time I've done a debate or a mock trial at Freedom Fest, and the crowd votes, and I've won them all. I'm 8-0. So I'll beat her. I mean, it's easy. That's an easy one, representing ICE. That's easy to do. But I got to tell you, most of the lawyers suck. They can't debate. They can't argue. And I'll bet he's right that this Solicitor General blew the argument about birthright citizenship. They're overrunning the country. They're killing the country. They're illegal aliens breaking in. No different than if you break into my house. Do you think I owe you for the rest of your life? That child now becomes mine because they broke into my house and dropped a baby? It's the stupidest argument I've ever heard. That's not what the founding fathers intended. All right, let's thank the sponsor of this segment, and then we'll take some calls. 1-800-347-ROOT, by the way. 1-800-347-ROOT. This segment of the show sponsored by Zicha Genesis Medicine, a biotech company. They've been developing medicines to treat Parkinson's disease, reverse type 2 diabetes, and to grow new blood vessels in the heart, to reverse heart disease. Zicha now has a new breakthrough to potentially reverse chronic pain. More than 50 million Americans suffer from chronic pain. Their medications could lessen or eliminate pain, such as neuropathy, back pain, or migraine headaches. How many of you have neuropathy? I know lots of people with neuropathy. I'm sending them all to Zicha. Data shows at least 10% of everyone watching right now suffers from just severe back pain alone. To get this medicine to market, they're seeking investors to fund more medical research studies. Zicha is offering investors a royalty of 50% of cash received until they reach 10 times their investment. And after 48 months, for any investor who's not happy for any reason, Zicha will pay them back 2 times their initial investment. If you're interested in learning more about this investment opportunity, go to the website they created just for my fans, cure-war.com. That's cure-war.com. Wouldn't it be great to make money and help cure disease at the same time? Go to cure-war.com. All right, so let's take some voicemail calls. Let's take Roma from Irvine, California, about Dr. Fauci. The floor is yours, Roma.
Hi, this is Roma from Irvine. Mr. Root, thank you for providing this platform to enable us to air our grievances, if you will, across the American airways. I'm calling about the rat-faced scumbag Fauci. I know that he's virtually untouchable in the U.S. due to the perceived presidential Biden pardon. However, I'm wondering if it could be asserted or proven that he actually did gain-of-function research and such, whether other people from other countries might be able to litigate against him. So, you know, obviously if he's beyond reproach in this country, maybe someone in England or the UK, South America, Canada, other countries may have be able to to pursue that litigation and put him in prison for at least the crime of manslaughter.
Well, my answer is I don't know anything about other countries. As a matter of fact, I know that we're the only country in the world that really has lawsuits. The rest of them, there's not a lot of lawyers, not a lot of lawsuits. We do all the lawsuits. So let's talk about America. I came up with the idea. All you have to do is sue him on the state level. Okay? Don't worry about the federal level. He got a federal pardon. So what? So did Steve Bannon. But I noticed Steve Bannon served time in jail in New York. The pardon didn't work in New York. I noticed that Tina Peters served time in jail in Colorado. The pardon didn't work. The federal pardon didn't work on the state level in Colorado. So they would not recognize a federal pardon in New York or Colorado. So his federal pardon does him no good on the state basis. So federal doesn't matter. All we need is a Republican attorney general with balls to prosecute him in Oklahoma, in name Republican states, in Texas, in Florida, in South Carolina, name really reliable Republican states, Idaho, Montana, just Wyoming. Where's the AG of Wyoming? Where's the Attorney General of Florida? Prosecute Fauci. Send him to prison. Make him spend his life savings to defend himself. Stick him in court all day, just like they did to Trump. This is the way they treated Trump. Treat Fauci that way on the state level if you can't beat him on the federal level. I'm damn proud of my idea. You don't need to do this federally. All right, let's take Nikki from California about inside trading in Congress.
Yes, my name is Nikki. I'm calling from Corona, California. And I have a question, since there's so much insider trading with Congress. My thoughts is that since they work for us and we do not have access to what they have access to, I feel that any profits they make off of the stock market should be redistributed to the constituents in their district. Each and every household should receive 1% of whatever they make in profits. I'd like a answer or reply to that.
Well, my reply is I think that's too complicated. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you. It's terrible what they do. But why can't you just ban the insider trading? That's all you should do. And by the way, I'm always on President Trump's side. I'm never a critic of President Trump. But it came out today he made $2.2 billion last year. $2.2 billion, not $2.2 million. $2.2 billion, and most of it was made off stock trading and crypto trading. So, I mean, they all do it. Both sides, Republican, Democrat, even our hero, President Trump, does it. And I don't blame him. They tried to take him down, ruin his life, destroy his business, bankrupt him, take his buildings away from him. And now he says, throw caution to the wind. I'm going to make some money. I don't blame him. But listen, if you banned insider trading, then they couldn't make that money. The idea of taking 1% and giving it to the people. First of all, that reminds me, Nikki, of a class action lawsuit. Whenever something goes wrong and people get hurt or they die, there's a class action lawsuit and their family gets $1.50. The lawyers get $12 million. There's no money for the average person. So if you took 1% of all the money these guys made in insider trading and you divided it among the American people, we'd all get $1.50, and the lawyers who led the class action lawsuit would each get $50 million. There's only money for the lawyers, so don't worry about redistributing wealth or class action lawsuits or anything like that. Worry about banning insider trading. If they banned the trading, then they couldn't make the money. But President Trump made $2.2 billion last year. I just want you all to know that. I have nothing bad to say about the man. I love the man. But he made a lot of money, too. Money's good in a capitalist society. If you banned it, he couldn't make it. So if you don't like it, ban it. Let's take George from Tennessee. George from Tennessee. What do you have to say, George?
My name is George. I'm in Huntington, Tennessee, and I'm watching the Wayne Root show. Of course, it must be late now or been I would like to share that if the Supreme Court's voting that you can submit a ballot after voting day, then why don't they change the rules on credit cards? If someone misses the payment date, why are they getting charged in the Supreme Court and allowing them to be charged an interest fee?
That's a great point.
Not fair. And are they stupid? I mean, did somebody put something in their water? I'd just like to have him address that.
That's a great point. I love that. George, that's fantastic. George from Tennessee. Of course, I agree with you. What a brilliant idea to come up with. a brilliant analogy, right? If it's okay to vote after Election Day, why can't I pay my credit card bill after the date it's due and not pay interest or penalty? Because there's no interest or penalty on the late voters. Their vote counts. That's ridiculous. Great analogy. I love it. Good stuff. And there's not something in their water. They're all compromised. They're either bribed or blackmailed, or they're liars and they're frauds. And they, from day one, they were liberals, portraying themselves as conservatives to get appointed by a conservative president, and they're not. Obviously, Amy Coney Barrett is a fraud. Okay, if she's not blackmailed and if she's not bribed, she's a fraud. She portrayed herself as a constitutionalist, a federalist. She was recommended by the Federalist Society to President Trump. She's a fraud. She's a complete horrible, big business, deep state, DC swamp, pro-Mexican drug cartel liar. She is the worst, the worst. All right, we'll be back next Wednesday. As long as my plane is on time, I'll be here next Wednesday and Thursday with you again. We'll be on the top 10 America's Countdown this weekend, Friday night, and then Sunday night. Not Saturday, it's July 4th. Lots of specials on Rav. And then I'll be back for top 10 again next week, too. I won't miss top 10. I'll be back just in time to do top 10. So lots of good things will be happening, but things slow down over a holiday. That's why I take my vacations over major national holidays. Happy July 4th. Happy 250th anniversary. God bless America. With all the complaining, it's still the greatest place in the whole world in the history of civilization. Greatest country. God bless America, and God bless America. God bless all of you. Be safe traveling over the July 4th holiday. Enjoy the fireworks. Wayne Root, this is America Speaks. RootForAmerica.com. Email me over the holiday. Love to hear from you. WayneRoot@gmail.com. Bye-bye. Wayne Allen Root here with John Jubilee, owner and founder of the Energized Health program. When I joined Energized Health 6 years ago, it changed my life. Since then, John has been a regular guest on all my shows, sharing their breakthrough science of intracellular hydration. John, your program changed my life, and more importantly for me, expanded my career, and it became really just, it reversed aged me. It became my fountain of youth. And many people are now using your program along with the GLP-1s, the weight loss drugs, Ozempic, Mounjaro, and all of them. Explain how Energized Health is working alongside these weight loss drugs, a perfect synergy.
Well, how we do that, Wayne, is weight loss is one thing, but with every weight loss drug that there is, all the families of weight loss drugs, they also come with the weight loss of our healthy lean muscle and our healthy hydration, which is the weight we don't want to lose, right? We don't want to lose that and get sarcopenia or osteoporosis. So at Energized Health, we guarantee you will gain your hydration and you will gain your lean, healthy muscle mass while you're losing your visceral and subcutaneous fat. That's why it's kind of the match made in heaven, Wayne, that they don't get the two negatives that come with the GLP-1s.
Perfect synergy. Energized Health's protocol targets the root cause of many ailments and diseases and helps people get off their medications and lose their fat fast. Explain.
Yeah, well, all of medical science is trained to go after the symptom. So here's a symptom, here's a drug. Here's a symptom, here's a drug. At Energized Health, we don't look at the symptom. We look at the root cause. The root cause of 99.9% every illness and disease, one thing, is inflammation. And just like when you walk into a room and turn a light on, darkness cannot exist. When you put intracellular hydration in a human body, inflammation cannot exist. And so that's why we've reversed thousands of illnesses and diseases with our breakthrough patent-pending science of intracellular hydration.
All right, it's a great program. It's an amazing program. It changed my life. I'm Exhibit A. Thank you, John. I've got a new TV show thanks to you. I'm being 65 years old. I'm turning 65 years old this July, and I got a new TV show unheard of in the annals of TV history. You get 40% off and go on the same journey as me when you go to EnergizedHealth.com and just say WAR when you speak to them for Wayne Allen Root. 40% off, and you go on the same journey. I hope it anti-ages you. I hope it's your fountain of youth. God bless all of you. EnergizedHealth.com, promo code WAR.
This is truly a historic moment that we're witnessing here in Tehran as scores of people have come out to commemorate Iran's late supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, who of course was killed in the U.S.-Israeli airstrike along with several family members at the beginning of the U.S. and Israel's war against Iran. And as you can see on the ground here, there is a lot of sorrow, but there is also a lot of anger. The chants of death to America, we're hearing right now, and death to Israel have been going on almost non-stop, with people vowing revenge against the United States.
ما برای انتقام خونخواهی رهبرمون اومدیم و لحظه‌ای از این هدف دست بر نمی‌داریم تا آخر ایستاده‌ایم تا انتقام قاتل رهبرمون رو بگیریم.
Of course, we always have to point out that not everybody is mourning today. Not everybody is out here. There are people who are deeply opposed to the rule of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. But as you can see here, right now, the government has galvanized its supporters. They have come out here en masse. And the message that they're sending, of course, is also directed at the United States. That if negotiations fail, Iran is ready for another fight. Now, these processions are going to go on for another several days and then culminate when the supreme leader is laid to rest in the city of Mashhad in eastern Iran. From CNN, Tehran.
We don't talk about the people in Iran anymore. Why is that? Why aren't they in the memorandum of understanding? We talk about never again. What happened in the Third Reich was so horrific. The concentration camps, the gas chambers, what they did to those people is unimaginable. Well, it's happening in Iran today. What's being done to these people, most of them young people, is unimaginable. And we pretend that it's not happening. We've given up on them. Well, join me in saying we have not given up on them. Please stand up. Stand up and say we have not given up. We have not given up. Those people in Persia, in Iran, need to be liberated.
Kate, President Trump was incredibly angry. He was only meant to do some welcome remarks coming into NATO, and you saw him completely let loose. Part of what he seems to be angry about is this idea that the United States gave some space to the Iranians so that they would be attending the Supreme Leader's funeral, and then instead they were striking these commercial vessels. So now you have him saying that he believes the MOU is over, but he did leave the door open for potential negotiations, which is making a lot of this much murkier.
You know, when people say, how come they haven't taken over? They can't take over because they're dead. They killed them. Nobody's going to take over. They have no guns, and the other side has machine guns. And they're killing them. The press doesn't report it. But they're bad people. They're bad people. And frankly, I don't want to waste my time with them. Now, I'll let our wonderful negotiators keep talking if they want, but I don't see it. I don't like these people. You know that? I like him. I like the leaders. I think all of these leaders.
Mr. President, is the ceasefire over? Is the ceasefire done? Is the MOU dead?
It's a very interesting question. To me, I think it's over. I don't want to deal with them anymore. They're scum. You know what scum is? They're scum. They're sick people. They're led by sick people. And they're vicious, violent people. And if they had a nuclear weapon, they'd use it. As far as I'm concerned, it's over. I'll speak to our negotiators. They want to negotiate. They're good people. Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner. But they have to come back to me. As far as I'm concerned, it's just a waste of time dealing with them. They're liars. We make a deal. And if I make a deal with him, we have a deal. And he goes out, he talks. We make a deal. Everyone's agreed. No nuclear weapon. We make a deal. They go outside, talk to the press. They say, we never even talked about it. There's something wrong with them. They're cuckoo. As far as I'm concerned, it's over.
And And later he called them lying guys. He said they were a cancer that needed to be cut out. They were evil and sick. And you can just see this escalation from President Trump, who really has had this war in Iran hanging over most of his presidency now for much longer than he anticipated.
Kristen, also, a lot of the focus today was supposed to be, and maybe still will be, on an important meeting between President Trump and the Ukrainian President Zelensky. What are you hearing about this now?
I find it hard to believe that that's going to be a main focus, but they are going to have this bilateral meeting. I mean, President Trump has already railed against NATO, saying that they don't contribute enough, saying that they believe that these other countries need to be giving more, including to Ukraine. Now, European leaders had hoped that this bilateral meeting with Zelensky, that talking about re-upping a ceasefire and peace plan, an end to the war with Russia and Ukraine, would be a point of unity, a place where they could really get through with President Trump, or at least start those conversations again. Obviously now, what we saw last night in the last several hours is going to hang over all of this. We know Zelensky has said he needs more air defenses. And President Trump, for the fact that he has talked to both Putin and Zelensky, for the fact that he sounds optimistic about ending the war, he says both of them want an end to it. The White House has not confirmed to me what, if anything, the United States is willing to agree to when it comes to Zelensky and providing any support.
I don't like him at all. And frankly, I think we waste a lot of time with them. I think we should just do our business. Can you imagine? They start shooting bombs, actually missiles at ships yesterday. Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, a couple of others, and they don't know. I don't think they know what the hell they're doing. But they're bad people, very bad people. I think they're incompetent, by the way. Because if they were competent, they would have made a deal a long time ago, like, how about 47 years ago? In trouble for 47 years, and we took out their first set of leaders, we took out their second set of leaders. They want to take out the U.S. leader, me. I'm on every list. I saw a thing this morning, I'm on every single one of their lists. And so far, I guess I've been a little bit lucky, but that maybe doesn't last very long, because that's the way it goes. But we have great people. But these are evil, sick people, and we have to rid their cancer. Their cancer. And you know what you do? You got to cut out cancer early. Man, that's the way I feel.
Well, it might be roughly as good as it gets. Might get slightly better, slightly worse. I think a big decision for us is how much military force would leave in this part of the world. The whole goal of the national security strategy put out by this administration late last year was to significantly dial down our military involvement here. But I think what it means for the world is you want to reduce your dependence on the Strait of Hormuz. That'll take time with pipelines, increasing energy production in other parts of the world. And I think you're going to have an ongoing challenge trying to put a ceiling on Iran's nuclear program. And that's not going to be temporary. That's going to be open-ended.
Anything short of more military action and increase in U.S. strikes, would anything short of that get Iran to change its behavior?
Well, I don't think that would get Iran to change its behavior. We had several months of intense warfare. That didn't do the trick. So I think the United States is up against a harsh reality that more military action doesn't necessarily give you more in the way of results. Plus, the last thing we want to see is this war widen. We don't want to see Iran attack the energy or water infrastructure of its neighbors in the Middle East. So U.S. options are not great here, let's be honest.
Wednesday, 8 July, Year of Our Lord 2026. We're good. We're lucky enough to have 2 hours today. The Charlie Kirk trial, basically the grand jury, the preliminary evidentiary hearing, will begin after the war room today, as the courts, I guess, got other work to do, and we'll carry it. Real America's Voice and War Room carry it in its entirety. That's the good news. The reality check is that the president's running late. He's doing these bilats. He just had an interesting bilat with Zelensky, where he opens to the media. I think the next one may be Turkey or Saudi Arabia. We're going to jump in. If the president's on a roll, we'll stick with it. He is supposed to give a press conference at 11:15 today. We had to reorganize the show because Joe Allen was coming in. However, the White House has informed people that he's running 2.5 hours late, so that may push to the middle of the afternoon, and Real America's Voice and Posobiec, everybody will figure out how to juggle that with the Charlie Kirk case. But it may not happen here in the war room. We've got incredible show today with so much news backed up that for the next, all the way through Saturday, we're just going to play catch up. We got incredible stuff. The reality check is that, hey, we're back at it. It's a shooting war again. And this goes back to the basics of the war room's theory of the case. It's economic warfare. We should have never pulled off the license, given them the license back so they can sell or monetize and get cash. As President Trump just said, they're not trustworthy. They're Persians. They've been doing $6 billion to buy soybeans. The farmers in Iowa will figure out how to sell those soybeans to somebody else, or the corn product. Don't feed them. You had, 5 or 10 million in the streets the other day for the Ayatollah's funeral. Don't feed them. Oh, that's terrible. It's no empathy. I have no empathy. We just got to get out of this mess, and we're just getting sucked in more and more and more and more, and we're burning daylight. We don't have time for this. This is a massive opportunity cost. Here's what we have time for. Mike Howe, the great Mike Howe, the Mass Deportation Coalition, because that's a phrase you should not talk about, although it's the central thing that what voters want and will turn out for. Mike Howe, we spending so much time on this freaking Middle East and Turkey today, Israel tomorrow, Saudi Arabia, all of it, and we'll throw in Ukraine just to be on top of that so we can divert our attention from the problem at home. And the predicate of the problem with the Marxist jihadists that run Minneapolis, Chicago, New York, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Portland, and Seattle is the mass migration, illegal migration into this country. You're doing something about it, Hal. What are you doing?
Yeah, so late last night, while everybody was sleeping, the Oversight Project filed a lawsuit against the Department of Homeland Security for true deportation statistics. I mean, I think everybody's aware at this point that the numbers that are being thrown around via press releases and on social media don't exactly check out. And obviously, there is a lot of political pushback against the mass deportation agenda. That's why we started the Mass Deportation Coalition, to show that the president's true supporters still support this central campaign promise to do the largest mass deportation in American history. And so we want the numbers out. We're worried that the amnesty lobby, which is still in existence, it's got its tentacles everywhere, particularly in Congress. They're going to point to these inflated deportation statistics that are, bandied about, so that if Trump loses the midterms, they can say, sir, please, please, please stop deporting. You've deported enough. Now's the time for the grand bargain of amnesty. And you don't need to be a rocket scientist to know that's going to happen. It already happened with Obama when they pumped up his deportation numbers to make him the deporter in chief so he could have the political capital to do Gang of Eight and DACA amnesty. We're not going to let that happen again. We want the true numbers out. We want to see people excited. We want these numbers out monthly, like the job report, like a spectacular every month, an extravaganza. And so we're suing to get them out to the people where they belong, because it's their country that was invaded.
Yeah. Hang on for a second. Last time I checked, we're in charge. We've got kindred spirits inside the administration. Are you telling me that DHS has been putting out numbers that are, like, we complain about Bureau of Labor Statistics, but that's controlled by the deep state. When we try to get E.J. Antoni in to clean it up, the Republicans wouldn't even meet with him. Led by the renowned MAGA senator from Maine, Susan Collins, wouldn't even take a meeting because E.J. Antoni promised to clean it up. Anyway, I want Hal to answer this on the other side. We're in charge. Those got to be our stats. They got to be like Caesar's wife. No question. Pure. What is going on here? But this is about opportunity cost. The Middle East is a sideshow. The Greater Israel Project is a sideshow to a sideshow. That's what we paid Tel Aviv Levin. Firing them up.
firing him up. He wants the Marines. He wants to lead a tank column into Tehran. Good luck on that, sir. Good on you. Short break. Mike Howe, mass deportations next in the War Room.
Get confidence on the course and in the bedroom with Blue Chew.
Blue Chew. Blue Chew. These chewable tablets come in handy as everything is super efficient, easy, and all done online.
Blue Chew.
Water, nature's ultimate cleaner. We drink it, we bathe in it. Think water, think steam, think clean. Now harness the power of water with the H2O X5 5-in-1 steam cleaning system.
I'm so impressed with the X5.
It's an all-in-one product. I can use it throughout my entire house.
It's cleaning, it's sanitizing. There's no chemicals in it. It's just steam.
This is unbelievable. There is no more odor.
5 minutes, I'm done. Look at that, it's amazing.
If you're ready to step into an effective, economical, and eco-safe world of cleaning, look no further than the H2O X5. Using just the power of superheated water, the X5 Super Hot Steam cleans and kills up to 99% of germs, viruses, and bacteria. You could spend over $500 to purchase the products that the X5 5-in-1 Miracle replaces. But through this special TV offer, you won't spend $400, $300, or even $200. Order your H2O X5 steam cleaning system, a $500 value, for just 4 easy payments of $43. You'll get the X5 steam mop with microfiber pad, the carpet glider, the handheld scrubber, the window glass and mirror attachment, and the garment and upholstery bonnet. It's a complete 10-piece system, all this for just 4 easy payments of $43. But it gets even better. Order now and we'll upgrade your X5 package. We'll add a 6th mode with a dusting and polishing wand. Valued at over $30, this extra bonus attachment makes your H2O X5 the H2O X6. That means your 10-piece system becomes a 12-piece system at no extra cost to you. If after 30 days you're not absolutely delighted, send it back for a full refund of the purchase price. Don't wait. Now's your chance to own the X5 for just 4 easy payments, and we'll make the first payment for you. You get the X5 incredible 5-in-1 lightweight, powerful 12-piece steam cleaning system, a $500 value, all for just 3 easy payments of $43. This offer can't last forever, so call or click right now.
We will never leave, and we will force you to leave.
Forward! You started a war!
In theaters July 3rd. Celebrate America's 250th anniversary. Buy tickets now at angel.com/Washington.
The gun grabbers are licking their chops. If they seize Congress in November, they've already promised an all-out assault weapons ban.
We will have legislation.
So we're giving away the rifle they'd like to ban the most. Your National Association for Gun Rights, America's no-compromise gun lobby, is giving away a Barrett M82A1 50 caliber rifle. Enter to win and chip in to help us fight back. Visit gunrights.org/RAV.
War Room. Here's your host, Stephen K. Bannon.
Okay, now, how? I'm totally confused now. We have, collectively, our best guys, Fitton and Howe, and someone on the voter fraud stuff, have to go sue the government, which we're actually in charge of. You got Pulte's in their DNI and here doing great things, and Solomon is doing great things, and that's had to come in at the last second because we control those intelligence apparatuses, and nothing's come out. So, Hal, I just want to make sure that you went out of your way in the extra yard to go meet with the officials, to go meet with members in President Trump's administration. It's like Fenton. He only does it when he doesn't have another option. And he's banging his head on the wall saying, I got to sue these guys. These guys are tougher than Eric Holder. What is your story?
Yeah, I mean, I won't kiss and tell with granularity, but it's suffice to say we were very loud about doing this. We announced it publicly in May that we were going to ask for the numbers and sue if we didn't get them. There were several points of contact throughout senior levels of the administration. Everyone and their cousin knew that this was coming. even the days leading up to it, like, all right, it's actually going to happen. Like, we need these numbers. And it's not like we want these numbers to shame the administration. We want these numbers because we want to generate enthusiasm around the deportation agenda. And that only happens when we know the actual numbers of people being deported so that we can plan on how many more need to be deported and maintain the base enthusiasm so they show up to vote in the midterms, knowing that the central campaign promise post the Biden invasion to deport the invasion is being carried out. Now, I suspect our biggest opposition here is the special interest lobby. You look at Maria Salazar and her Dignity Act. You look at the 50-some Republicans pushing farm worker amnesty. They have bigger donors and sway, and they're over in the agencies in the White House saying, please stop deporting. But that's what this grassroots coalition is standing against. It's the fastest growing coalition. We have the truth, the people, and the facts on our side, and we want them to get the deportation numbers because they're theirs. They deserve to know.
Mike, I'm going to ask you to hang on for 1 second because I want you to hear Brian Harrison. We've got the great Brian Harrison down in Texas. So, Brian, you've been doing some work, and I want you to take it that hey, the Coney Barrett and Roberts is kind of the Supreme Court justice for the Bush junta. They give Xi the biggest victory he's ever had to allow basically these anchor babies in the United States to destroy our country. But you've been, as you always do, thinking through how it works for Texas, and you say you think you have a solution to this entire mess, sir?
Well, yeah. I mean, under our Constitution, those radicals called our founding fathers understood the states were supposed to be the sovereigns. It was these United States. It was the states that created the federal government, not the other way around. And we're Texas, the 8th largest economy on earth. We used to be our own republic, for crying out loud. And I'm sick and tired of the Texas government and the leadership down here, the weak leadership, taking it on the chin when destructive edicts come rolling down from Washington, D.C., from people in black robes up there that have the literal potential to tear apart the very fabric of our republic and destroy what it means to be a United States citizen. And newsflash to you guys in the Supreme Court, if everybody's a U.S. citizen, then there's no value to U.S. citizenship. And that's exactly what you've done. And Texans deserve more than just firmly worded letters and tweets, of disappointment from our governor and others down here. We need action. And the state of Texas has a lot of tools available to us under the Constitution. For example, last time I checked, birth certificates, those are state documents paid for by state taxes, paid for by the men and women of the state of Texas. There is nothing in the U.S. Constitution that requires the state of Texas to facilitate illegal immigration by issuing birth certificates to the children of illegal aliens and of non-citizens. So I officially called for the executive branch, who has the power to do this unilaterally, to stop giving birth certificates to illegal aliens. Stop giving birth certificates to non-citizens. They have current authority under Texas law to determine who is, quote, properly qualified to receive a birth certificate. And I'm sorry, if Justice Roberts and Amy Coney Barrett find that offensive, you know what? And if Justice Roberts wants to individually litigate every issuance or non-issuance of a birth certificate to some anchor baby, illegal alien, or non-citizen, bring on that fight. But I'm sick and tired of the Texas government taking it on the chin when this disastrous, tyrannical republic destroying edicts come in from Washington, D.C. We're not innocent, powerless bystanders here. We need to start fighting as hard for the future of our state and country as the left is. And Texas has a lot of tools available to us. We just need the courage to do it.
We're going to have Ren on here in a moment. It's a big story today that the Senate Leadership Fund is going to pour money into Ohio and Iowa because the candidates there are running behind Democrats because they're not supporting basic MAGA policies that the MAGA grassroots would come out in droves to support, like in 2024. The citizens out there get the joke. So Thune thinks his safety here is to raise more donor money that hate mass deportations getting sorted. Let me ask you, Harrison, Mandami and Plattner and all these guys, they have traction in the sanctuary cities, all of it, because they all act like John C. Calhoun. They're nullifying federal law every day. They're on the assault. That's why their people are enthusiastic. Why don't our people enthusiastic if the political leaders get it? What is it about our established order here that refuses to see where the people's heads and hearts are, sir?
Well, absolutely. I'm fed up. I'm sick and tired with Democrats fighting harder for the future of our country and our states than elected Republicans are. And it just belies the whole myth that, oh, if we just only had a few more Republican votes, we could do these, things that would make America great again or make Texas great or whatever it is. In the state of Texas, perfect example on how that's total myth. Voters here in Texas, they gave us the lieutenant governor's office, the governor's office, every statewide elected official, and massive majorities in the Texas House and the Texas Senate. But instead of doing what the Democrats do when they get in power and fighting as hard for their Marxist progressive ideology, we should be fighting equally hard for our pro-liberty conservative ideology, but we don't do that. What has the Republican leadership in Texas delivered to us? Oh, I don't know. We're advertising that we'll accept foreign documents to give non-citizens birth certificates on our website. We've increased state spending 42% in just the last 4 years. We now have, this is going to shock you, in Texas, we have a higher debt to GDP ratio than the People's Republic of California. This nonsense has got to end. We're using tax subsidies to subsidize data centers and liberal Hollywood. We don't have a Democrat problem in Austin, guys. There's not enough Democrats in the Texas government to pass a birthday resolution unless Republicans help them. We've got weak Republican leadership that will not do the bare bones basics to protect liberty and freedom for the next generation. And that starts with standing up, fighting back against this absurd decision that came down 8 days ago from the Supreme Court. There has not been one single granular action taken by the government, the supposedly Republican government in the great state of Texas, to fight back. We should have a special session. Did you know birth tourism has not been criminalized in the state of Texas? That's right. When our attorney general wants to prosecute that, he has to rely on other laws. We do not have a crime against birth tourism in the state of Texas, the state on the front lines in the battle for border security. So there's nothing stopping us. As much as I love talking with you, Steve, here back in my home district, my butt and all of my colleagues' butts should be back in Austin right now in a special session, making birth tourism a felony. Let's stop taking this on the chin. Let's expand our criminal offense of illegal entry to include birth tourism. Let's give our attorney general new authorities and a mandate to investigate and prosecute birth tourism. Let's stop these ridiculous surrogacy arrangements from countries of concern that's happening for commerce, for business, for profit in the state of Texas. We've got birth tourism businesses running rampant in the state of Texas, and there's no Texas law explicitly criminalizing birth tourism. Oh, and by the way, we're handing out birth certificates like candy to illegal aliens and non-citizens in the state of Texas. And the only reason we're doing that is because the elected Republican leadership in the state of Texas has not had the courage to stand up and stop it. So I would encourage the posse. Y'all been in so many fights. We've been in so many fights together, forcing conservative policies through in Texas, like firing the president of A&M or stopping the DMV from registering illegal aliens. Guys, I need your help one more time. Melt the phone lines of our governor, our lieutenant governor, and speaker. Tell them that they've got the power to stop giving birth certificates to illegal aliens, and you're sick and tired of your hard-earned tax dollars. You're sick and tired of Texans being taxed out of their homes to hand birth certificates to illegal aliens and the children of people who may well be foreign intelligence assets sent over to here to get birth certificates to a child who maybe literally never stepped foot on American soil, left before they could walk, left or was flown out within hours or days of being born, yet they had the right to vote. They had the right to cast a vote 18 years later for the leader of the free world. This is not a fight that we should just sit around twiddling our thumbs for. Melt the phone lines again in Austin. Every state should do it. Stop giving birth certificates to illegal aliens, and let's make birth tourism a state-level felony. Let's act. Let's deliver results. Let's not just tweet about it.
We're gonna get all the numbers up. Where do people go? What are your coordinates? Where do your people go?
Yep.
To get you.
Go to the most hated social media
the most hated thing and most hated thing in Austin. Where do folks go?
In Austin, they hate I've been yelled at and screamed at and cussed at for a lot of things in the Capitol, but nothing as hard or as aggressively for what I post online. Go, please, on X, at Brian E. Harrison on X, at Brian E. Harrison on X. Piss off a rhino today. Go follow, go like, go share. You can see it with your own eyes. I post the videos, I post the pictures. You can see with your own eyes how the Texas government is advertising they will accept Honduran consular documents, Mexican voter IDs, and I'm not making this one up, Stephen. The Texas government will accept a library card if you want to get a birth certificate for an illegal alien in the state of Texas. You can go see it. Like, follow, and share at Brian E. Harrison. Grateful for the posse, and Steve, appreciate you helping us shine a light on this problems down here in Texas.
No. This is a pitch battle. We're going to get all over this. We'll get the numbers up. Brian, thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
Yep. Great to be with you.
Mike Howe, Mike Howe, this is the type of multi-front war we got to fight. We got to fight now. The Republic hangs in the balance on this thing. This is why the mass deportation coalition is growing so rapidly, right? It's the cornerstone of kind of America First MAGA, sir.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. I mean, Trump's feature campaign promise 1 and 2: secure the border 1, conduct the largest deportation operation 2. And he's said to be larger than Eisenhower, and he got 77 million votes to put him in the White House to do that. Those votes come from people who were furious that their country was invaded, Texas being like a prime inflection point of that invasion. And what did the Texas establishment do during that? And I share, the representative's frustration. They threw some buoys into the water and let them swim right past them. And when Biden said take them out of the water, they did. And so the Texas establishment sat there and watched their own sovereign state be invaded. And so they lack the willpower down there in their entrenched establishment. And I'm so glad that Harrison's trying to flip it over. But I will say, Texas has some of the most illegal aliens in the entire country. They can do a lot at the state level to force illegal aliens out in the first place. And above all that, there are no anchor babies to illegal aliens if there are no illegal aliens here. So that's why we got to keep the fight on for mass deportations.
How I want to know where people go to keep up with the lawsuit. I want to get a copy of the lawsuit. Also, in addition, you're going to be around D.C. today. Do we have a photo of that? Can we put the photo up on Mike Howe? Tell me about this vehicle. You've already been designated by Homeland Security as a potential threat. What is this vehicle, and what's painted on the side of it?
Yeah, so one of our great supporters, I don't think he wants us to name him. We'll call him the Sculptor, okay? The Sculptor, I think, is watching. He gifted to the Oversight Project this beautiful truck that he had out in the hinterlands of the country. And you can see he's also a big fan of yours in the War Room Posse. And so the truck arrived recently in an undisclosed location in Washington, D.C. I will be leaving this hit to go drive that truck around Washington, D.C., put it right in front of the Capitol, and to let people know we see through what Congress is doing. They're pushing for an amnesty. They're the ones blowing the wind in the face of the Trump administration for the people in there who want the mass deportations to proceed. They're saying, please stop, sir. We want our illegal workers. This will hurt us in midterms. Please stop, even in Texas, where we were just invaded. So we're going to stop the deceit. We're going to spread the word. The truck will be a central feature. And for all other patriots in D.C. who might have some ideas what we can paint on it next, you know how to find me.
Well, when the Capitol Hill police come and try to roll you up, I'll take the under on how long you're out there before you get a knock on the panel truck. Hal, one more time, where do people go to get all the information about the Mass Deportation Coalition and your Twitter feed?
Absolutely. So Mass Deportation Coalition, either go to massdeportation.com or on X at Phase 2 Deport. That's number 2. I'm at M. Howell Tweets, and the Oversight Project is as It's Your Gov. Because guess what? It is your government. Those deportation numbers are yours. We're going to get them to you.
Mike Howe, thank you. 2 warriors, Brian Harrison and Mike Howe, start off. The brilliant Dr. Thayer reminds me, in our chat, he reminds me that we are in charge, but not in power. Do we have, is the president, we have the, can we go to the Syria and pick it up? Are we ready to go with this? He's given a bilat and taking some questions. Let's go to the President of the United States in Ankara for the Syrian. All we're going to do is we're going to look at the Q&A with the President. Come right back.
I think I will. Why wouldn't I? He's done a great job. Maybe he would have brought that up in a little while, but that's a good question. Yeah. Any problems with that? I think we should. Yeah, I will.
Do you still want Syria to help with Hezbollah in Lebanon?
They could help. We'll find out. I think we're making a lot of progress.
Mr. President,
they could help.
Mr. President,
they would do a very good job.
Prime Minister Netanyahu has been critical of aspects of your relationship in the last couple of days with President Erdogan of Turkey. He said that Erdogan has imperial ambitions on neighboring countries, presumably including Syria.
Well, he hasn't been involved with Syria. If you think, he hasn't been involved with Israel at all. And he's left it alone. I wouldn't say he's a friend, because he's not a friend of, as you know, of Netanyahu, of Bibi. They don't get along, I think. But, for me, he's been great. Look, Turkey's been fantastic and a fantastic ally. They're also a NATO country. And Israel, we've done, no president's done as much for Israel as I have. Nobody even close. If you look at, just look at all the things with Jerusalem, all the different things that we've done. the Golan Heights. I did things. Nobody has ever done anything for Israel like me, and we made tremendous progress. And we've made a lot of progress with Iran too. Wiped out their military, but they should have been done 47 years ago.
And if I could, do you think that that Prime Minister Netanyahu should be reelected? There's an election coming in Israel, or would you like to see new blood?
I can tell you this: he's been a great wartime president. We worked as Prime Minister. So we worked with each other very closely, and we went through a very big thing. We did a big thing together, and in my opinion, he's been a great wartime Prime Minister. I don't know anything about his politics. I'm not sure. I would think he should be popular because he did a very good job. We had and have a very good relationship. But he was a great wartime prime minister.
President Trump.
If you had other prime ministers, you know what? There wouldn't be in Israel right now. You know that? There wouldn't be. It would have been blown to pieces by Iran. If you had a weak prime minister, you wouldn't have. And if you had a different president, I guarantee there wouldn't be. And Israel wouldn't exist today if you didn't have me as president.
President Trump,
you said data from the Energy Information Administration revealed that U.S. crude oil production set a new record in the month of April under your leadership.
That's right.
Why is it important to keep hitting numbers like this at this moment in time? Why is it important that you were able to get this done and keep it on this trajectory?
Well, when we decided to do this, it's called the denuclearization of Iran. We have to do it. We have to have. They're never going to have a nuclear weapon, and they admit they're never going to have it. But they behave badly. Always behave badly. There's something wrong with them. But when we did this, we thought oil would go much higher, and it didn't go very high. And now it's coming way down, and you're going to see oil drop very low. Now, maybe we'll do some other things that could lift it a little bit, but I don't think it's going to lift it a lot at all. I think oil is coming down. There's tremendous amounts of oil. Scott, what would you say about that?
Yes, so record production under President Trump in his first term. Now in his second term, the U.S. is an energy superpower. It's why we weathered the conflict better than anyone else. And just this weekend, Bloomberg wrote that there is an oil glut out there, and we think that safe, secure American oil maybe even should trade at a premium to the rest of the world.
So we have, if you add it up, you take Saudi Arabia and take Russia, two big oil producers, we do more than twice as much. We do more than, so think of it, Saudi Arabia, Russia put together, we do more oil, and that's not including Venezuela. It's pretty amazing. And this all happened during my term. We started it as first term. Biden blew it because he had no idea what he was doing. But we are producing more oil right now than Saudi Arabia and Russia combined by almost double. Okay, any other questions? Yes. Yes, ma'am.
You said that dealing with the Iranians is a waste of time. How do you plan to get the nuclear material and the nuclear assurances that you want?
Well, we've already got the nuclear material because it's so far underground, nobody's going to be able to get it except us because we have the equipment that can get it. But I call it the nuclear dust. The nuclear material is so far down underneath the mountain, and now that's been determined, that it would take massive machinery that we have that no other country has.
Mr. President, so you have no plans to go in, boots on the ground?
Why would I go in now? I'd go in when they're completely either eliminated or whatever happened, or an agreement's made.
Mr. President,
yes.
If you cut off trade with Spain, does that mean that you're going to have to renegotiate a trade agreement with the EU?
With who?
With the EU. With the EU. Any past trade agreements you already have?
We're going to see what happens with the EU. You know, they've treated us very badly for years, and they took advantages. Look, we're very close to those countries, right? And to everybody in the EU. The problem is they took advantage of the United States for years. It's like him. They took advantage of Syria. He's bringing it back. And I'm bringing the United States back. We have the greatest economy we've ever had. We have the biggest investment. 19.2 trillion is being invested right now in the United States. 3 trillion was the record. Under Biden and under the past administration, they had less than $1 trillion for 4 years. We have 19.2 trillion in 12 months. Think of that. We have the largest amount of money being invested in a country in history.
Okay. Thank you, Denver. Remember, when this voice talks, it's supreme. It's supreme in this space. One day, I'm going to get folks to understand that. I'll work on it. I can both direct and be the talent. Wow. Okay, we'll go back to the president. Other bilats, we'll jump in there. Other questions. The question on Spain is is going to have its way to stiff the United States as a NATO ally. So President Trump is, I think, cutting off trade. So a lot going on in Turkey. He's going to give a press conference. He's running 2 or 3 hours late. That was supposed to take place at 11:15. It's probably going to take place sometime this afternoon. I've got Ren on deck. She's coming up here in a moment. But Metaxas, number 2 book in the nation on the New York Times bestseller list, The American Revolution. This is, folks, this is the start of our 250th year. Independence Day, the 4th of July, did not end it. It started it. Where are we today in the revolution, sir? And why should you buy your book to find out the entire story?
First of all, Steve, for anybody that has not been with us on this program, my book is mandatory beach reading. Ladies and gentlemen, mandatory beach reading. It's not a book for history buffs. It's a book for Americans. If you're an American, you need to know American history. And if you want to know American history and you don't want to get some woke, skewed version, I recommend my book, not because I wrote it, but because it's true and because it's not playing the game that all the historians have been playing for 60 plus years, pretending that all the founders were deists, pretending that we could have liberty and justice for all without a biblical basis. All those ideas come out of the Bible. That's not what my book is about, but it's in the book, so it's very important. When you talk about what happened today, today is July 8th. So it's an amazing thing to think that today at noon, 250 years ago today, was the first public reading in Philadelphia outside Independence Hall of the Declaration of Independence. 250 years ago today in Philadelphia. And I think in 2 other places, I think in Trenton and in Eaton, Pennsylvania. But it's hard for us to imagine. We've heard these words. It's like the Bible. We've heard it over and over and over. Our ears are dull. We cannot really comprehend. What would it be like to hear this for the first time? And not just to hear it for the first time, because for us, it's still history. For them, it was brand new. Something had happened that was just so explosive, it is almost impossible for us to imagine what would it be like for Americans to hear that we have declared independence from the nation to which we had been wedded since the beginning. It's almost unbelievable, Steve, to try to imagine what this day was like. I mean, obviously, I write about it in my book. And then today, John Hancock's letter arrives on July 8th in New York City. Washington opens up the letter, and it sort of commands him. This is, Congress commanding the commander in chief, right? Because Congress is the authority. John Hancock as the president saying, here's a copy of the Declaration of Independence. George Washington, you need to have this read aloud to your troops. This is Congress telling Washington he must do this. So tomorrow, I'm not going to be on the show tomorrow. I'm traveling to Las Vegas. Yeah. I wanted to tell you today, tomorrow, which is July 9th, this document was read aloud to the troops at 6 p.m. in New York City. And again, you try to imagine what it's like for these troops standing there. You've got the ships showing up already in the harbor. It's just an astonishing moment in history. And as I think I mentioned, after it was read aloud on July 9th to everybody in New York, these troops in New York, about 50 of these guys decide, hey, we got an idea. Let's tear down the statue of King George III on Bowling Green. You can go there today. The fence, the same fence is there. You can touch the fence. Inside that ellipse was a magnificent statue erected in 1770, so only 6 years earlier, a gigantic 4,000-pound statue made of lead, covered with gold, an equestrian statue harkening back to a famous Roman statue, equestrian statue of King George III. They tear it down with hammers and axes, and what do they pull it down? They haul it up to Litchfield, Connecticut, where they melt it down into 42,000 musket balls to be used against the troops of King George III. I mean, what happened 250 years ago this week, it really doesn't get a lot bigger than this. This is the moment of moments in the history of the world. America comes into being. Hard for us really to take it in. We need to celebrate this, absolutely celebrate this. It's a glorious moment in our history. And I think the 250th is not just, another thing. And I know, Steve, we're going through an existential crisis in America. We're in a war now, right? It's not a hot war, but we're in a war with forces that despise America more than George III despised the 13 colonies, because he didn't. And we're in a war.
If we don't take care of business and take care of business in New York City, we're going to be in a hot civil war. We got to do it now. That's the whole point. This book is a beach read. I don't say that because it's a page turner. You've used what I call novelistic techniques, kind of Tom Wolfe and Truman Capote and people in the 50s or 60s that really recrafted modern narrative nonfiction to read almost like William Manchester and others, to read like novels. You've done the same thing here. It is a beach read. It's a page turner. You don't want to put it down. I mean, people I've talked to, you get into this book and you just want to keep reading because you're finding out new things, every page, and the way you've put it together, the whole thing kind of flows. And for the first time, it kind of starts to make sense to people, sir.
Well, it's very gratifying to hear that. I mean, when I write my books, I want them to be read, eagerly read, not just, there's so many books that, it's a book, but people don't read it. If you don't read it, what's the point? My book's not for scholars. Now, I follow the scholarly consensus. I read zillions of books and there's footnotes, but the point is the reading itself should be enjoyable. And frankly, in this case, it should be wildly inspiring. It should inspire readers to want to be a part of this story, to say, how do I get in on this? This is the revolution after the revolution. It doesn't end in 1783 when they signed the treaty in Paris. It goes on. We are living it right now, and we are living in an existential crisis. We have this satanic mayor of New York City. I mean, it's almost like a demonic thing for him to take the desk of George Washington and turn it around. It's like a satanic ritual. And I don't say this lightly. I think there's something demonic with him. We got to stand against it.
Eric, we'll send everybody to the site. Thank you very much. I know you got to bounce. We're not going to have you tomorrow, but we'll have you back here Friday. Eric Metaxas. Revolution is the book. Amazon. Go to Amazon now or go to Eric's site. We'll put it up in the Chiron. Thank you very much, sir. Caroline Wren on deck in the war room.
It's time for Operation America 250. Yeah. We're going to go see Young Washington in theaters this 4th of July. Yeah! Now, they expect us to walk through the front door and pay $30 for 2 tickets. But we're gonna take them by surprise and sign up with Angel for $15 and get 2 free tickets to Young Washington.
Plus 2 tickets to every Angel movie coming to theaters. We're talking The Brink of War, Runner, Angel and the Bad Man, Drummer Boy, Hershey, and Zero AD.
And those are just the ones coming out this year.
Those tickets are included with streaming Angel's whole library?
You know it, for just $15 a month. That's the America 250 offer.
Let's storm the theaters!
With Angel tickets for Young Washington. For America! Celebrate America 250 with Angel Premium. Get instant streaming access and 2 tickets to Young Washington in theaters July.
When you look at your grocery bill, is it so high it knocks you off your feet? It's time to stand up and save with InstaSeal by Bell & Howell, the world's first vertical vacuum sealing system designed to save you money. Unlike ordinary storage bags that trap air in, spoiling your food, InstaSeal removes the air completely, extending freshness up to 6 times longer. Now that's saving. Look, flat sealers create a big mess, but InstaSeal is upright, mess-free, and easy. The secret is Smart Seal technology. With just one touch, it auto-feeds the bag to seal, pauses to vacuum out the air, then continues to perfectly seal. Plus, InstaSeal has a motor powerful enough to crush cans, but smart enough to save crackers from turning to dust. Forget big, bulky sealers you have to put away. InstaSeal's compact design stays to help you seal and save every day. Got a great deal on chicken, meat, or fish? InstaSeal protects it from freezer burn. Now buy groceries in bulk. Make meals ahead of time. InstaSeal and save. It even works with all universal storage system bags. Buy on sale meats. InstaSeal and save. When you add it all up, InstaSeal will help you seal and save hundreds on your family's grocery bill. Call or go online now and get the complete InstaSeal system that keeps food fresh 6 times longer with enough storage bags to fill your entire fridge for the special TV discount price of just $99.99. It comes with a 90-day money-back guarantee. Plus, we'll ship your entire order free. You get it all, an incredible value for one low price. Order now.
To order, call 1-800-308-6802 or go to buyinstaseal.com. So call 1-800-308-6802 or order online at buyinstaseal.com.
Here's your host, Stephen K. Bannon.
Okay, Birch Gold, this is going to end on the 10th for the commemoration of 250. Take it for, I think, the easiest way. Just text Bannon, B-A-N-N-O-N, 989898. It puts you directly in touch. You get tons of free information, no obligation, but it puts you in touch with Philip Patrick, the team. You can talk about a qualifying purchase that gets you a free 1 ounce silver round. It ain't a coin, it's a round, okay? Make sure you talk to Philip Patrick and the team about that. Also, Chapter 845 War Room. The founder and CEO, chairman of the company, was on the other day. Colby, as we have him on every couple of days, talk about it. Already $1 million in savings to War Room Posse members by talking to this data company about your Medicare plan. $1 million of savings already to War Room Posse members. 845 War Room. Couldn't be simpler. No obligation, totally free. Just call today. As you know, Medicare is on purposely mind-numbingly complex to try to fool you. 845 War Room. Already your compadres have saved up to $1 million, and they're in the right programs. 845 War Room. Do that today. Got a short clip from the Democratic Party in Maine. We're going to play, and the Caroline Wren's going to join us.
Hi, everyone. I wanted to provide you all an update on the U.S. Senate race here in Maine. As you know, the Maine Democratic Party has been working around the clock to develop a process to replace our U.S. Senate nominee that is open, inclusive, transparent, and fair. The integrity of this process is just as important as the outcome, and we are committed to ensuring that Democrats across our state can have confidence in both. Unfortunately, Graham Plattner's team has repeatedly reached out to us in an attempt to put their thumb on the scale of what this process looks like. We have repeatedly reiterated to Graham Plattner's team that they have no role in determining our next Democratic nominee for the U.S. Senate, nor in determining what this process looks like. We have also reiterated that Graham Plattner must drop out of this race so that Democrats in Maine can focus on defeating Susan Collins this November. We look forward to making this process public as soon as Graham Plattner formally withdraws
They want to be, you know, death to America, all this, right? You're not going to get regime change. You're just not. You saw the 5 million in the street. And you saw Mark Levin's thing. He wants to send Marines. He wants to march. He wants to do the march up country to Tehran. Well, get a tank, Mark. Go over and volunteer to the IDF. Become a colonel. Get a tank. Lead a tank brigade and go for it. In fact, you can go to Damascus. You can go to Beirut, anywhere you want. As long as we don't have any part of it, go for it. Go for it. Go for it today. Get to Tehran. Let's go. Let's roll. One of the big issues, I think a third of the people on Obamacare can't afford it anymore because the subsidies are gone. Dr. John Ertley from America's Health Share. Why are you guys an alternative? Why is this just not some screwball fantasy that you don't have to have health insurance? You guys have actually conceived of a better way. So, Doc, what is that better way? Why does this make sense? There's got to be an alternative because people cannot simply afford. They're crashing out of the system that's set up. You take the subsidies away, which the American people can't continue to subsidize it. So you take the subsidies away, and then people can't afford it. So there's clearly an alternative. Why have you guys created an actual alternative for people, sir?
Well, Steve, thank you so much, and I appreciate being here with you this morning. America's Health Share is that alternative to traditional health insurance, and you're right, it's unaffordable, and Americans are unable to sustain this. We're subsidizing it, and when the subsidies go away, we see just how expensive traditional health insurance is. But with America's Health Share, we're here to solve that problem and actually fight for these options and this ability to be able to actually take back our health care. And that's why we're seeing such a rapid growth in membership of America's Health Share, is that we are an alternative, but it is affordable. And it gives you the kind of healthcare that puts healthcare decisions back into you and your physician's pocket, really celebrating this healthcare freedom to be able to make sure that people and Americans are able to choose the healthcare that they actually want to choose and not just be forced down their HMO or their PPO plan that they are spending an arm and a leg for.
So when people come, how do you explain it to them? What information they have? Because this is a different way of looking at the world, and it's going to take people to kind of get their head around it, because so many are used to paying for insurance or just rolling the dice that, you know, I can't afford the insurance, so I'll just roll the dice that nothing happens. What's the process of which you get people up to speed on this?
Well, for sure, I don't recommend just rolling the dice. I don't think that's a good and responsible option. And so this is where America's Health Share is a way that we are able to take care of healthcare bills that come on in by not just allowing those premiums to go into a black hole of an insurance company, but you have transparency of where these bills go. And so each member is able to share member to member when you have a medical need or a condition that arises. We also have that flexibility to be able, we actually believe that we want to be able to have prevention and invest into prevention. I believe that healthcare companies should invest into prevention instead of just looking at instead of just this sick care model that we have. And then when we do get sick, that you have the conventional system. If you need it, you have the cardiothoracic surgeon, the interventional radiologist to be able to place that stent. That's great. That's all included in our plans. But you also have the ability to be able to go and receive alternative functional medicine care, to be able to actually look at your own individual case, what's going on with disease, looking at your prevention and your wellness, looking at biological age. How do you biohack? How do you run your hormones to be able to actually balance out your hormones, so you're not just being told that you have hypertension or high blood pressure and that you're fat and overweight, but you actually get doctors and have this ability that's included to actually feel better. You know, you can go to your primary care physician, and this is all for zero out of pocket that you get for our primary care visits, because we believe in prevention, but you're able to actually get testing that's able to look at hormone analysis. You're able to look at testing to be able to actually look at how your inflammation is going instead of just a cholesterol panel and being fatigued and tired, but yet your doctor's telling you, well, your cholesterol's high, so you need to take this med, and now come and see me back in a year. I don't think that's very good healthcare, and I think this is where people are disenfranchised, but we're seeing this with America, is that we're having these options, functional medicine, alternative medicine that's included in the plan. And believe it or not, Steve, it is incredibly affordable. Our members overall are saving $1,800 a month. That's what our members are able to save. So it's an incredibly affordable plans and programs that we have, but it's very comprehensive to make sure you and your family are being taken care of.
So where do they go right now? I want the chapter guys on Medicare have now saved the War Room Posse $1 million and got them in better plans. You guys, I think, are the same type of thing. I want people to go, but the way they did on chapters, our people get in it and immersed, and they get 1 million questions as they should. Where do people go right now, Dr. John, to find out about this, immerse themselves in information, and then talk to you guys directly?
Yeah, I want you to go to freedomforhealth.org/Bannon. Use coupon code Bannon, and you can, we're offering free month of healthcare sharing. But before you do, come and join, come and ask questions. We have a whole team that's devoted to be able to ask your questions. Yeah. Look at what are potential pre-existing conditions. How does this thing work? How are you guys doing this as far as being able to keep my healthcare costs much more affordable? And how are you guys doing this? And really learning about that process, just how transparent we are and where you can see those monies go and what's available in the programs that we have. Because it's like I said, there is no healthcare plan that is as comprehensive. And I've done this because I've been in the world of 25 years of treating chronic disease and cancer with alternative therapies and precision alternative medicine. And we've been seeing this. There's not a health insurance plan that's like it. And this is where when you have this ability to have peptides, HHS is just coming out. They're reviewing peptides to be able to actually allow for compounding pharmacies and actually pharmacies to produce them instead of getting them from China. And when we see peptides, they're wonderful for the treatment of disease. And yet this is included in our healthcare programs. So it's a really beautiful way to be able to save cost and to be able to have a better healthcare experience with America's Health Shares. So go to freedomforhealth.org, coupon code Bannon.
Go right now, immerse yourself in information. You get a free month also. Dr. John Ertley, thank you so much. I appreciate you coming on. I want people to start. You got to do your due diligence. So let's get rolling. The guys at Chapter saved you $1 million collectively. We're going to have him on tomorrow, Friday. Natalie Winters. And all the great, since the time you were an intern here and with Raheem, 8 years ago, I think because of the timing and the stakes, this may be among, if not the most important piece that you've ever laid out. And they just had a meeting with Zelensky because this ties together color revolutions, U.S. money, these foreign groups, and American elections. This is a powerful piece that people have to understand the threat that we have to this nation right now. Natalie Winters, can you walk through what you've got up on your Substack? Because I am gobsmacked in reading this, ma'am.
Yes, but real quick, I'm just going to fact check you. It was not 8 years. You're making me feel old. We would have been violating child labor laws if that were true. but I digress. We're all about starting young here in the war room. But this, Steve, really is an explosive story. I know how much you talk about the foreign financing of the Marxist jihadist wing of the Democrat Party. A lot of people do, but this is actual receipts that show that this is happening, not happening in the future, happening since at least 2024. Basically, there are these foreign NGO type groups. In this case, this is a Berlin-based group called Power for Democracies. Their raison d'etre is that they're anti-Trump. They hate authoritarianism. They sound like Rachel Maddow on steroids. But they, and we'll get into it after the break, have copious amounts of fundraising documents advising their donors, so very wealthy Europeans, on specific American left-wing NGOs that they can donate to that will in turn do get out the vote efforts. It is as detailed as pricing out votes up to basically $80 a vote. They're running metrics, numbers, complete statistical analyses to see which NGO is the most effective. And what I think is the most damning is that they are actively working in the midterms. They're talking about 12 to 14 swing states, hundreds of thousands of votes, and they say that they can, quote, change the outcome of national elections.
No. This is the way they're going to do it. Hang on. The headline is Democrat Voting Registration Group takes foreign money to, quote, change the outcome of U.S. elections against Republicans. Natalie G. Winters, her Substack. Your jaw will drop, but she brought the receipts. Short commercial break. Natalie on the other side. Patriot Mobile. Take your phone at 972-PATRIOT. Talk to somebody with an East Texas accent. If you want to pray, pray. Have a prayer group. If you want to talk about the best phone service in the world, they're prepared to do that and talk to you about a Christian company that backs your play, particularly in the great state of Texas. 972-PATRIOT. East Texas accent. Folks right there, best in the country. Jenny and Glenn's story. Natalie G. Winters on the other side.
Why are you not getting powerful erections, even after ED medication? That's why Blue Chew Gold was created. It comes down to how arousal really works. Physical response requires a mental trigger. It is not just another pill that targets blood flow. It's a 4-in-1 arousal-boosting formula. If you're struggling to find that mental spark, try Blue Chew Gold.
Are your yellow teeth making you look old? Get Smile Actives, the daily teeth whitening breakthrough that gives you a more youthful smile and helps you keep it.
At 43 years old, I don't mess around with products that waste my time. Smile Actives is easy, and it works. No gloopy trays, no messy strips. Just add a little bit on top of your toothpaste when you brush your teeth. And ta-da, white teeth.
Just add Smile Actives to your favorite toothpaste and watch the magic happen. Our patented Polyclean microfoam lifts away deep stains for a dramatically younger and whiter smile.
You have a choice. You can have those yellow teeth and just be old Nana or Pop-Pop, or you could be smiling and dazzling and full of confidence. I love my white teeth.
Scan, click, or call for your whitest smile yet. And if you order right now, we'll double your whitening free. Get an extra Smile Actives as our free gift to you, but only while supplies last.
I drink coffee every day. I started noticing that my teeth were not as bright as I'd like them to be, a little dingy. The Smile Active, it works. Got your boy gleaming.
100% of users saw whiter teeth. Smile Actives lifts away even the toughest stains from coffee, wine, and food, gently restoring your bright, youthful smile. Plus, it's safe for veneers, crowns, and dentures.
It's really a no-brainer if you want to whiten your teeth.
Clinically shown to brighten your teeth 5 shades whiter in just 7 days.
This was eye-opening. I noticed how white my son's teeth were and how yellow mine were, and so I made a change. If you could use something so easy like Smile Actives to take yellow teeth to white teeth, why wouldn't you?
Act now. Get Smile Actives for just $24.95 and we'll double your order free. But hurry, this deal won't last. Smile Actives is guaranteed to work. Whiten your teeth or get your money back. No questions asked. Don't wait. Get Smile Actives for just $24.95 and we'll send you a second bottle absolutely free. That's free shipping, a free extra bottle. That's an incredible 58% savings. Scan the code, go to smileactives.com or call to get your beautiful whiter smile now.
1 in 4 kids grows up without a father. That's not just a bland statistic. It's a national crisis. I'm John Popola, host of Dad Saves America and CEO of Emergent Order Foundation. I like to say we're what it would look like if Warner Brothers and PBS had a baby that actually loved America. We're building a movement that defends the family and calls men to step up, not check out. Visit dsa-rav.com today to take a stand for fatherhood and the American family.
Here's your host, Stephen K. Bannon.
Okay, in fact, Joe Allen joins me in the war room. Joe, I'm going to get you in a minute. You got tons of explosive news. People should know behind the scenes we're working nonstop on AI. We haven't had a lot of it on the show because we're so jammed with everything else, although it's the most important thing in front of us, except for stealing elections. Natalie, take it from the top real quickly. How is this even legal? This is outright Berlin. They're advertising. They're putting a price on an American vote. $90. You can flip an American vote against Trump. This is Trump derangement syndrome monetized overseas to steal American elections. And they couldn't be, they're so blatant about it. I mean, they don't even pretend that, this is, to educate, et cetera. This is absolutely to register voters, to turn them out. It's the precinct strategy. It's Scott Presser. It's everything we've done. They've taken it, but with foreign money, ma'am.
Look, you got to go to the Substack and read this piece. I have screenshots of the actual documents, and it's worth seeing them in their own words. But there's so many buried leads. I really want to kind of give a blueprint of what this story reveals. One is the direct financial involvement from foreign entities in democratic progressive activist groups involved in voter registration. it proves not only our theory of the color revolution, this idea of anti-authoritarianism, anti-autocracy, that basically is just this weird pretext to justify by any means necessary change of the system. In this case, I think this exposes a very interesting tax loophole and foreign funding loophole that I think House Republicans need to call a hearing tomorrow and subpoena particularly the American group involved in this, which is called Freedom to Vote, which is because they have identified getting out the vote, right, which is mobilizing people who typically don't vote to actually vote as a tactic to fight against democracy repression, somehow in weird 501c3, bend the USAID mind of a bureaucrat, somehow that allows foreign funds to flow in to this organization because it's not actually an explicitly partisan organization. It's about defending democracy. Now, all of a sudden, this new push to defend democracy makes a lot more sense because it's an interesting way to almost depoliticize, right? It's about saving the country. It's not just about winning elections. And I want to get very specific. I want to quote these documents. They describe this as a voter mobilization operation that is capable of, quote, changing the outcomes of national elections. Now, the group that is writing these documents is called Power for Democracies. They're based in Germany. But throughout their website, throughout various PDFs that they've published, they talk about how they have systematically gone through over 100 civil society organizations in the United States, very complex metrics. And they identified freedom to vote, the 2 is with the number 2, one word, as the most effective one that foreigners can donate to. Here's the smoking gun. Here's the quote. A nonpartisan organization under U.S. tax law, Freedom to Vote maintains neutral language and content in its outreach to ensure compliance. It can receive funds from both U.S. and foreign donors. We are currently recommending Freedom to Vote, a nonprofit organization that can receive funds from both U.S. and foreign donors. It's plastered all over their documents, all over their website. And they have a specific plan whereby right now they're targeting the 2026 midterms as part of a plot to basically subvert President Trump's, authoritarian takeover of the United States. They were active in 2024, and basically their broader plan is using 2026 as sort of a proxy for 2028. But right now they have a $19 million target where they want to go after potential voters across 14, they call them decisive states. And they deduce from their calculations that would register more than 350,000 Americans and generate over 200,000 additional votes in, quote, pivotal House and Senate races. They've run the numbers from a pilot program that they did in 2024, where they saw a 3.72 percentage point increase in voter registration and a 2.14 percentage point increase in turnout. That was 280,000 new registrations and about 160,000 new voters. They literally itemize to a dollar amount how much each vote for the midterms will cost, using 2024 as a number, saying that a voter registration costs approximately $54 and an actual vote is around $94. That leads them to the conclusion that they have enough tactics, enough potential registrations to mobilize people to actually change the outcome of these elections. Now, this group, Freedom to Vote, which we'll get into what exactly this group is and why describing it as nonpartisan is literally the biggest lie I have ever heard. But this $19 million project that Freedom to Vote is going after, they've only financed about $5 million of that. So they have an outstanding 14 to 15 million. And we'll get into USAID and how that ties into all this, which I do think is a very interesting thing to really prod. So this group, the Berlin-based organization Power for Democracies, is writing these white papers, is advising their foreign donors to put their money into this American group working on get out the vote operations, particularly in swing states, certainly for the midterms, but mainly for 2028. And when you try to figure out, well, who are these people that they're registering? Well, this group, Freedom to Vote, is sort of a shell organization for something that is funded. They use the technological infrastructure provided by an entity called Civitech. Now, Civitech is Act Blue-esque in the sense that it is explicitly partisan. You can actually go to their website. They literally brag about how their technology is so sophisticated. They will minimize unintended Republican registrations. The person who started it was actually the director of vote protection in Florida for none other than Hillary Clinton. The group itself has donated to Democratic state parties, Democratic local committees. They've worked with the DNC. They've worked with Democratic AG committees. They are Democrat through and through. And it's kind of funny, right? It's the typical thing. Apparently, defending democracy is bipartisan, but they don't tell you that defending democracy also is synonymous with beating Trump. That's the little asterisks on it. And you can look, if the Denver wants to put up the one with the different colors, the boxes, you can see what their actual strategy is. So they go after basically their exclusive proprietary database, whereby they can find people that are not registered to vote, but should be voting, and you can tell how they're going to vote. They go after basically former prisoners, people, formerly incarcerated people, whatever the woke euphemistic term for that is, people who recently turned 18, and people who've recently moved. They note that they have the most success in demographics that are Black and Latina, so Democratic strongholds, and how they actually do it, which is really wild. Again, a foreign-funded organization. And some American money may be flowing into this too, but they're only getting 4 out of the 20 million they need from American donors, and they're not disclosing where the money's coming from. But they literally, to these people that they identify, no Republicans, only potential Democrat voters, they mail, quote, this is a quote, nearly completed registration forms and return envelopes directly to eligible citizens in key states and districts. Follow-up communications provide reminders and assistance to ensure completion. Let that sink in. This group is literally to future Democrat voters, basically mailing them an entirely completed form. All they have to do is return it. They've done so much legwork into finding out who these voters are. And what's so interesting, and where this really merges, Steve, with our whole color revolution framework, is that if you read these documents, not just encouraging people to donate to Freedom to Vote, but their approach to influencing US elections, like they don't even think it's wrong. There's, paragraph after paragraph about, everything we've talked about, Democratic backsliding, all these really loaded political science jargon terms to justify basically overthrowing Trump as if he is, to use a phrase, a king, right? No kings. They talk about how it's a test run for 2028. They talk about one of the reasons that they need to oppose Donald Trump is because he cut funding to programs like USAID specifically. Quote, given the role the United States plays in guaranteeing the security of many other democracies, it is not only the future of democracy in the United States that is at stake, but the future of democracy around the world. Another quote, reducing the likelihood that U.S. foreign policy undermines democracy, supports autocrats, or supports and commits mass atrocities is crucial and depends upon who wields power across the branches of government. Now, they literally have a whole report, basically their assessment of like what's wrong with the United States government, what would be more amenable to the interests of, European elites and more broadly this whole democracy movement. But this is probably the most explicit example I have ever seen, not just of foreign collusion, but of really the convergence of EU elites with the progressive left over here, which EU elites code for really far left Marxist extremists, actually colluding, exploiting tax loopholes. I do think, I can't sit here and give you the evidence for it right now because it's so hidden the way they do these, the structure of these grants. I find it very weird that they're so upset over USAID. And when you want to kind of see what these anti-democracy or pro-democracy projects were actually being funded, this is the kind of stuff that's really shady.
We're going to make sure you brief over DOJ. I'm going to have you back on tomorrow. We got to get ready for the Charlie Kirk of it all. Where do people go? I need people today to read in detail, line by line, this piece by Natalie, the investigative piece, and to share it. And there's going to be much more coming from this. The engine room, people are already blowing me up to say they know. They said, hey, this is what they've been doing in Europe, and particularly Eastern Europe, sourcing these guys in Hungary for years. They're taking this model and now coming to the United States. Natalie, where do people go to the Substack to get this? Or where do they go for your social media, ma'am?
We need to see the subpoenas flying. How about that? You can go to nataliegwinters.substack.com. You can follow me at Natalie G. Winters on X. But seriously, Freedom to Vote needs to be subpoenaed. You need to see the money, and I think that this can unravel a lot of the foreign funding stuff and close the tax loophole. My goodness.
We started with Mike House suing the DHS for right stats. We got Fitton suing. We're not going to have Natalie Winters. We're going to get to the bottom of it. We're not going to have Natalie sue. Natalie, amazing work. Like I said, of all the great, amazing investigative reporting you've been doing. This is top of the stack. Particularly the timing is exquisite. Thank you, man. We appreciate you, as always. Wow. Birch Gold, don't miss out. We're running out of time on the 250th for the free silver round. Text Bannon, BANNON 989898. Talk to Philip Patrick and the team. See if you qualify, the qualifying purchase. Also, the end of the dollar empire. Is it happening now in the Persian Gulf? Joe Allen next.
You need a better, safer shower. But traditional remodels are not the way to get there.
I've been down that road with the contractor, and it was just a nightmare.
Don't call a contractor. Call Jacuzzi Bath Remodel.
They did such an amazing job, and it just looks great. The bench, the shelf, the grab bars.
And right now, we've got a special TV offer that you won't want to miss.
Call 1-800-314-7563 or go online now to jacuzzibathremodel.com. We're waiving all installation costs, plus no interest and no payments for up to 1 year. Call 1-800-314-7563 today.
Get the safer, more beautiful bathroom you've been waiting for in as little as 1 day at a price you can afford.
Jacuzzi worked with me to get it to the price that I needed it. It actually was a lot less expensive than I expected.
It's not expensive, not at all.
Jacuzzi, the most trusted name in water for 70 years, brings you beautiful, effortless, one-day bath or shower transformations. Our free design consultation will help you choose the right combination of easy clean materials, custom safety features, and accessories, all backed by a lifetime warranty you can trust.
We have a bench that folds up and down. We have handbars that we love. We can put our whole weight on the bar and on the seat both and feel safe.
I didn't think it would get done in 1 day, but it absolutely came out in 1 day, and Jacuzzi did a great job doing it.
With zero interest and zero payments for up to 1 year, and installs in as little as 1 day. This is nothing like calling your local contractor.
I was just stunned. It was so beautiful.
Call 1-800-314-7563 or go online now to jacuzzibathremodel.com. We're waiving all installation costs, plus no interest and no payments for up to 1 year. Call 1-800-314-7563 today.
We'll take your shower down to the studs and rebuild it with genuine Jacuzzi products you can count on. You'll have a beautiful new Jacuzzi shower installed in as little as 1 day. Built to last a lifetime.
The non-slip floor is very helpful, and I don't feel like I need the bar, but at my age, I'm going to use it just to be safe.
We didn't have to compromise on safety or on beauty because we got both in one package deal.
There's no comparison before and after. It's so safe.
In as little as 1 day, you could have the bath or shower you've been waiting for. So call now.
Call 1-800-314-7563 or go online now to jacuzzibathremodel.com. We're waiving all installation costs, plus no interest and no payments for up to 1 year. Call 1-800-314-7563 today.
And so, again, we're back to policy questions, which is there are going to be policy efforts to kind of prevent AI medicine from happening or robotic medicine from happening, but the capabilities for sure are going to exist. I mean, Dr. ChatGPT is a better doctor than 99% of doctors. People hate, I don't know, doctors hate when you say it, but it just is. It really is. We have all these new companies. We have this company, a break one of our companies, Open Evidence. That's actually the AI medical service that a lot of the doctors use. It's sweeping the medical field, and it's great, by the way. As a patient, you really want this because you want your doctor to have state-of-the-art AI, right, supporting all of their, By the way, if only to just have all of the information at their fingertips, right, to just really understand, because no human doctor can possibly read all the medical literature and keep up with it every year, and so even just to be able to know what the latest results are. I mean, give you an example, just drug interactions, drug conflicts. People when people get sick, they don't, over time, especially older people, they don't tend to get sick with just one issue. They tend to have 3, 5, 7, 10 different things going on. Yeah. And then they get 3, 7, 10 different kinds of medication that they're supposed to take. And then there are drug interactions, and it's quite complicated. But I think just the fact that Dr. ChatGPT is just so good out of your pocket, I think it's going to kind of force the issue.
Okay, a couple of things. Number one, I didn't give you the number. Chapter 845, War Room. They've saved the War Room Posse $1 million already. I think they've only been doing this for a month. Go check it out. Don't take it from me. Free, no obligation. Check that out today. Mark Andreessen, just to make you feel better at home, he's now President Trump's appointee on the Defense Policy Board, the board that it's kind of the board of directors for the Department of War. I kid you not, for the Pentagon. Mark Andreessen. Also, there's a bunch of analysis and stats that I don't think I put up this morning on Getter, but I'm going to break it down tomorrow. It proves the case of what Stephen K. Bannon has been saying, because analytically they show the massive investment in AI and investment in all other industries, essentially a net zero. Our country right now is hurtling down a highly leveraged bet on massive productivity increases from AI that doesn't lead to mass layoffs. I think it's the riskiest bet in like the history of rational thinking, because now everybody's kind of, oh my gosh, is this really going to have a thing? But the money in the capital is amazing. When I talk about opportunity costs, the capital going in there is opportunity costs and ain't going anywhere else. And so no other really major innovation. I'll break all that down tomorrow. Mark Andreessen. By the way, the last thing, CNN, is it a puff piece? Can I call it a puff piece?
Oh, I don't know.
No, it is not. By the way, it's one of their toughest. Hattis Gold is one of the best people for CNN, and she's a hammer. I mean, she's a total hammer. But I think she succumbed to the Southern charm of watching Joe Allen. I think it's not just your intellect. I think it's your humility when you go in front of these. Because they're used to seeing Mark Andreessen's, right? Your humility when you go in front of these church groups, etc., and your accessibility when talking about artificial intelligence, sir.
Well, I do my best. It's not the easiest topic to wrap your head around. I can't say that I've wrapped my head around it 100%, but to the extent that I can communicate the intention of the people creating this technology, where they see it going, and what it would do to the lives of all of these regular people should it actually be realized. I mean, I do my best to give them the warning that they need to hear without freaking them out too much, although it's kind of impossible not to freak them out a little bit. I mean, you hear what Mark Andreessen said there. Dr. ChatGPT is better than 99% of human doctors. Aside from the fact that that's total BS, the chatbots, even the best among them, consistently hallucinate. They don't.
So how can he say that? Hallucinations, you've done more than anybody to show how big hallucinations are as a problem that hasn't been overcome and is only getting worse in many regards. How can he sit there and tell people, hey, a ChatGPT doctor is 99% better than a human?
Well, there's two ways that he can justify that, I suppose. Number one, he's really intoxicated on the idea of this technology. If you read his Techno-Optimist Manifesto, it's pretty clear that he believes that these technologies will completely save the human race. In the same way that religious people believe that their God will save the human race, he believes that technology will, especially artificial intelligence. So he's got the belief there. Now, I'm not really sure if he really believes what he's saying when he says that ChatGPT is better than 99% of human doctors, but he is very much invested in that idea. So he stands to make a lot of money. He's got
financially invested, not just morally or intellectually invested.
Yes, I mean, if you look at the spread at Andreessen Horowitz, you've got Hippocratic AI, Ambience Healthcare. He was just talking there about open evidence. These are all part of his little tech stack. These companies that are using, they're kind of wrappers for the big, large language models like OpenAI. So the idea is we will, from the Andreessen Horowitz perspective, we'll provide the capital. These startups will provide advice to doctors. But if you get people to the point that they believe that chatbots are, in fact, better than 99% of human doctors, 100% of human doctors, that means a few different things. One of the obvious ones is that every doctor, and eventually, legally speaking, most likely, should this kind of belief pervade the system, every doctor will have to defer to a chatbot, or at the very least consult a chatbot in any interaction with his patient. It means that the AI now becomes the essential mediating factor between the doctor and his patient. It's extraordinary that you have that claim given all of the hallucinations, given the risk. I'm not saying that these bots aren't capable of raking over the medical literature and very often coming back with accurate results. But it's just simply a crapshoot in many ways. The bots will consistently hallucinate, which means that the doctor then needs to be using his or her critical faculties.
But
and
also,
if that
it's
withers
also
away,
the thing of
then
the
that's
aspiration of little kids that want to be doctors and registered
Yes.
nurses, and that it's little kids sitting there. You're really not your career. You're going to be like a under the hood mechanic, right? You're not going to, because the doctor is going to be the thinking machine. That's what he's saying. That's what's so hard. That's one of the many things that's so horrible about this.
You have it from the medical perspective, right? So doctors are kind of trained to defer to these bots. Their critical thinking withers. Their connection with the patient withers. It becomes more of that kind of streamlined, industrialized,
frictionless
healthcare.
They're trying to build a frictionless world.
But then you have all the people that go to ChatGPT for medical advice. You had Sam Altman, you had Elon Musk, both of them in a very reckless fashion suggested, or actually just simply said.
Elon Musk reckless?
Yeah, simply told people to upload their medical data, upload what they could about their symptoms and whatnot into Grok in Elon Musk's case, or ChatGPT in Altman's case, and have the bot give them the diagnosis. Now, again, not only do you have the problem of inaccuracy there, but if you have a layperson who's trying to basically suss out their health issues with a bot, they're not going to be equipped to understand what is and isn't a mistake. And I mean, OpenAI reported that some 40 million healthcare queries come in per day to ChatGPT. So it may produce some benefits. I mean, we've all had situations where we Googled symptoms that got past our doctors. But I think that not only do you have the reliance on the doctors is a big problem, the reliance of the doctors on these bots is a big problem, but just people in general coming to trust the bots. Now, you expand it out, it's not just healthcare. It's in business, financial analysts. You have it you have bots being used, the agents being used constantly to go out and perform kind of digital tasks on the behalf of all sorts of different job positions. You have the education problem, which I think is probably the worst, because as we go through the next 5 to 10 years and this up and coming generation begins to take responsible positions in society, they're going to be, not all of them, thank God, but just so many of them are going to be completely dependent on digital technology for anything they do. They've been allowed to pass through these institutions using ChatGPT or other AIs to analyze the stuff for them, break it down, and also to write their programs.
You're being too kind about this. You're talking about an industrial program here backed by every investment dollar in the United States, and putting this in hock, that essentially ends humanity. That ends us as a species that has flourished and survived and moved forward with critical thinking, drive, and ambition. What you're talking about is we're just caretakers. We're just caretakers at first, and then we're totally controlled by the machine. Is that not correct?
Yeah, absolutely. But the good news, to me, anyway, I mean, in Silicon Valley, this is not good news
out of this. You found good news out of this?
If you look especially at the reaction of Gen Z to these technologies, it's extremely skeptical, at least statistically speaking.
This is good news, because they've heard Andreessen and said, this guy's dangerous.
Yes, and then you've got plenty of religious people who are now really waking up to the problem, and even if they accept some level of digitization, they're not completely succumbing. That's Catholics in a big way. You see it with Pope Leo and his encyclical, but you also see it among Protestants. You really see it among the Orthodox. You see it among Orthodox Jews. You see it, for what it's worth, you see it to some extent among Muslims. And I'm very curious how, like, for instance, like the Eastern religions, Hinduism, all that, how they're really responding. But we'll put that aside. In America, you have a substantial number of people. If you look at the polling, a substantial number of people, a majority of people. In some polls, it's a slim majority. In some, it's a very large majority, depending on the questions.
But our side is gaining momentum every day. We see it in our battles in Capitol Hill. President Trump came out and said, we need some guardrails for this.
Right.
We are winning this fight as long as you dig in and don't succumb to that crap of Andreessen and these people that are all doing it to put more money in their pocket and gain more power. We're going to win this.
Absolutely.
This
see
is
no
like the
reason to
American
give up.
Revolution. The odds are long, right? A lot of people want to take the under, but we've got this if we just don't stop fighting.
I see it on the Republican side. There's a lot of incentive, I think, to back business, and AI is
They're paid
if nothing
off.
else,
These scumbags
big
in town.
business.
What the? Mike Howe started the show. Mike Howe, who's the greatest guy, the biggest supporter of President Trump, has got to do a mass deportation coalition, which half the Warren posse, and they're suing the federal government today because they're lying about the statistics. The people that supported most look, and the reason is that just like in mass deportations, the Republican Party elites and the consultants around them are totally bought and paid for.
1,000%.
1,000%. You're not a crazy political guy. In fact, what I admire about you don't really want to get involved in the politics. You're kind of wonderfully naive that way. No, but it's good. But you see it here in this town. It shocked you, has it not?
I mean, the money is flowing from all sorts of directions, right? I mean, for someone to exist, they have to get paid. A lot of people, though, it's well beyond just subsistence. I mean, you're talking about millions of dollars to say anything to defend big tech. Anything whatsoever, and they will. And it's ridiculous the degree that someone like Marc Andreessen gets the support of so-called thinkers, right? This idea that AI is better than 99% of doctors, or AI is better than 99% of teachers, or in the military context, I mean, as you mentioned, Marc Andreessen is now basically integrated into the Department of War as a policy analyst.
He's on the board.
Yes.
He's on the board of directors.
Now, what happens when people start buying into some rant about AI being better than 99% of commanders?
So is Karp.
At least Karp, for all of his insanity, has the wherewithal to understand that the other side of Silicon Valley that's so intoxicated with the LLMs are at least way out over their skis. And Karp, I mean, he's a lunatic in and of,
no, but
for him to be telling the truth,
but
you're in real trouble.
He does cut to the chase and back a lot of what we're saying. If you cut through the madness and the surveillance state madness, okay, hang on right there. I got to hold you through the break because I got to talk about this Chronicles piece. I want everybody to, since you're going to hit the road again, I want to start immersing people back into the writings in Joe Biden thought. You're like just thought of she like she thought. You got Joe thought, right? You've been one of the things I've really enjoyed is having Joe come to the Capitol and see how horribly corrupt it is. Everything's for sale, and people come with big temptations and big money. The Pilgrim, Joe Allen, The Pilgrim. Okay, take a short break. Joe's on the other side.
We rejoice when there's no more. Let's take down the CCP.
Hi, I'm Ben Cozy. Isn't traveling a pain in the neck? You're cramped, uncomfortable, and forget about getting any rest. There's nothing cozy about airplane seats or hard plastic benches, and those so-called travel pillows, they just don't cut it. You don't need another travel pillow. You need Be Cozy, the world's most comfortable neck pillow. Trapped in the middle seat? Wrap Be Cozy around your neck to stop chin drop, bobblehead napping. Smashed up against the window? Fold Be Cozy over and tuck it onto your shoulder for super side support. Frequent flyer miles got you sitting aisle? Turn Be Cozy to the side for the perfect pillow position. Everyone wants to be cozy, so get the world's most comfortable travel neck pillow and be cozy just like me, Ben Cozy. You get to be cozy. Everyone gets a Be Cozy. Only Be Cozy has patented overlapping arms so you get double support and the comfort you need in any seat on any trip. Go online right now and get this exclusive TV offer. Buy one Be Cozy, get one 50% off. Get yours now.
When you look at your grocery bill, is it so high it knocks you off your feet? It's time to stand up and save with InstaSeal by Bell & Howell, the world's first vertical vacuum sealing system designed to save you money. Unlike ordinary storage bags that trap air in, spoiling your food, InstaSeal removes the air completely, extending freshness up to 6 times longer. Now that's saving. Look, flat sealers create a big mess, but InstaSeal is upright, mess-free, and easy. The secret is Smart Seal technology. With just one touch, it auto-feeds the bag to seal, pauses to vacuum out the air, then continues to perfectly seal. Plus, InstaSeal has a motor powerful enough to crush cans, but smart enough to save crackers from turning to dust. Forget big, bulky sealers you have to put away. InstaSeal's compact design stays to help you seal and save every day. Got a great deal on chicken, meat, or fish? InstaSeal protects it from freezer burn. Now buy groceries in bulk. Make meals ahead of time. InstaSeal and save. It even works with all universal storage system bags. Buy on sale meats. InstaSeal and save. When you add it all up, InstaSeal will help you seal and save hundreds on your family's grocery bill. Call or go online now and get the complete InstaSeal system that keeps food fresh 6 times longer with enough storage bags to fill your entire fridge for the special TV discount price of just $99.99. It comes with a 90-day money-back guarantee. Plus, we'll ship your entire order free. You get it all, an incredible value for one low price. Order now.
To order, call 1-800-308-6802 or go to buyinstaseal.com. So call 1-800-308-6802 or order online at buyinstaseal.com.
Hello, War Room Posse. Hey, I can't be with you the next few days, so I wanted to get on here and tell you I'm going to extend that sale that only comes once every 250 years, the Made in the USA sale. That's right, our premium My Pillows, king size only $19.98, lowest price in history. Queen size $18.98, standard $14.98. We have our My Pillow mattresses, the best mattresses you'll ever sleep on, 50% off. And by the way, the whole order ships for free right to your front door. Mattress toppers as low as $99.98. Then we have the bolster pillows, the body pillows, the go anywhere pillows, all of it on sale. Go to mypillow.com/war room. You're going to see another sale that collides with that, the Mega 2 sale. And then you're going to find the Giza Dream Sheets as low as $29.98. Our 6-piece My Towel sets, $39.98. You have kitchen towel sets on sale. You have everything for the kitchen, bedroom, bathroom, everywhere. Promo code War Room. Free shipping on your entire order. You guys call 800-873-1062. Use the best promo code in history, promo code War Room.
Okay, the president's about to step up in that carrot. We're going to cut right to it. Think of the irony. Every day for years, we would toss to Charlie Kirk in the Charlie Kirk show. We're going to toss, and I think the president, they'll probably do on the stream, but we're going to toss to the courtroom where the assassination, an evidentiary trial on the assassination of Charlie Kirk continues. And I will tell you that it's pretty heated out there, people's observations about this, and we'll hopefully get to all that by week's end. We're covering this, so you're the grand jury. That's why we're doing it, wall-to-wall coverage. We'll be back tonight. May not be on, but we'll be back, I think, during the break. So at least we'll get 15 minutes with you. Last night we had like 20. And Wendy Pax is going to be with us. You're on fire. I want to talk about this Chronicles piece. And by the way, if I got to cut to the president, Tell me about Chronicles and other writings. It's now a perfect time to immerse yourself in Joe Allen thought, right? You're like Joe Allen thought,
yes.
Right? And this is the best time to do it because, folks, this battle, we're at the top of the first inning on this. We're at the top of the first inning. So we got to gird ourselves for a long, very tough fight against very long odds, Joe Allen.
As they may say at Anthropic, enter the J space, which is a big buzzword at the moment. Yes, Chronicles Magazine, the new July issue. I've got a piece in there called The Specter of a Cyborg Theocracy. I was really flattered that they invited me to write for this issue. It's dedicated to AI.
You're the Sam Francis of this of the Luddite movement right now.
Well, I would say that Sam Francis's idea of anarcho-tyranny maps pretty well onto the Silicon Valley approach to...
He's extremely controversial, but pretty prophetic.
Yeah, I mean, you know, everybody has their opinions, but when you're right, you're right. And Sam Francis was right about many things, not least of which anarcho-tyranny. You can see it on the streets of America every day, and you can see it in the way in which people are picked apart at the upper echelons of society for the most minor infractions. But yeah, the specter of a cyborg theocracy. You can find it at the top of my social media, linked at JOEBOTXYZ. You can find it on the Chronicles website, and I really encourage you to go to the Chronicles website because, again, the entire issue is dedicated to artificial intelligence. Its promises, its perils. You could say that I'm kind of the token Luddite that they invited to really
Explain
grind.
to people what Luddite means and why it's so important. It's been mocked and ridiculed, but what they did had some brilliance to it, and why
Yeah.
it's so important today.
Yeah, I urge you to pick up a copy of Dark Aeon, Transhumanism and the War Against Humanity for a treatment of Ned Ludd and the Luddite Revolution. But yeah, at the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, you had this sort of mythical figure, Ned Ludd, and all of these people who were rebelling against the industrial policy. Then yes, of course, you will treat it as a tool. But even as a tool, it begins to elicit emotional feelings. It's a teacher, right? People come to trust it as a teacher. It becomes for many people a companion. It becomes for many people in their own minds. They look at it and they say, oh, this thing is a creature. It's a conscious being. And then the more you offload your cognition, the more you grant it authority over what is and isn't real, or even the authority of the legal authority to determine who is and isn't a legitimate target, it becomes a god. AI, the tool that becomes a god. So I lay that thesis out in this piece, The Specter of a Cyborg Theocracy, in
Gotta read it.
Chronicles magazine.
He's going to be in the road, but we're going to get him on. I want to go through this CNN piece, which started as a hit piece and became the exact opposite. You know why? They followed Joe Allen around and saw the way he communicates with people and gives working class and middle class people in the great hinterland of this nation access to make sure that they can use their agency in making decisions about this. Technology has a lot of promise, but also you're looking over the pit of hell.
Gold was designed to prevent that. Sildenafil keeps